Hey everyone, Pam Bam Rich here. Welcome back to the Tales of Marathon Stream 3, Day 8. 8 days, it's still hard for me to realize that. But in any case, we are here back for more Tales of Berseria, and I'm joined here by members of Lumina Tales. You've seen their footage earlier. Joined here by Cherrim and Jenachuu. Lumina Tales is another Tales of fan translation group. They'll be working on Tales of Destiny 2, the footage that you just saw earlier, as well with Tales of Destiny DC as well. So we got more options with regards to patches and whatnot, and you can find their website at luminatales.net, as well with them being on Twitter at luminatales. I think I covered everything with regards to that. Was there anything else missing?
No, I think that's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, with regards to Tales of Berseria, we were talking a little bit with regards to this game, and before we get into Berseria, I'm actually kind of curious about Lumina and like how it all started and what essentially brought the group together and whatnot.
I can answer that since that was a few years ago. Me and one of the other members, Stray Lies, we were like, I just wanted to translate a game, and Destiny 2 I felt had like the least accessible ways of playing it, and I loved it because we played DC and Destiny 2 together before I moved to Japan, and so we just kind of got it together, and slowly the team came together, and now here we are.
Okay. Let's see here. And so Destiny 2 was definitely the first choice. I do love Destiny 2 myself personally because I just played it like 2 years ago, and I do want to say that it's like certainly I think I want to say like my favorite sequel out of the series. Compared to like games like Exilia 2, Dawn, and the other one being Nightgreen Dungeon Cross, I definitely would like to say that Destiny 2 is my favorite, and it's cool that you guys are focusing on that one first because I feel like more people should play it.
Yeah, I agree. It's also my favorite sequel out of the series. I feel like it just does the OG characters the most justice out of any of the sequels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And like the biggest thing like with that as well is like, because like I was thinking about this before because I still haven't played Tales of Destiny DC, but I do plan on playing it someday. But then when I think about like, I started with PSX, and then I played Destiny 2, and I feel like from PSX to Destiny 2, like it really does like I thought that was perfect, especially with what happened with Big Mr. Not Spoiler guy. So there was like a lot to it, whereas like I felt like it really filled in the blanks to what Destiny PS1 did not really fill in at the end of the day. Yes.
Yeah.
To admit, I have never played Destiny PS1.
Okay.
I have not either. I've only played DC, but Stray Lies would be able to have a lot of opinions on PS1's Destiny. I think that Destiny 2... I don't know if this is correct. I'm pretty sure that Destiny 2, like, specifically was made after the original, and then DC happened.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. So, like, it would make sense that it would connect well.
Yeah, it was cool that it was able to connect and whatnot. Also, I might be one of the weird people, because, like, I genuinely don't mind Tales of Destiny on the PS1, so bear with me. I know a lot of people do like DC much more, that's for sure. But yeah, we're able to hear Kamoana's voice if you're able to hear it while we're talking about that. I don't know if you're able to catch us here, but it's a nice little scene with Kamoana and Eleanor here, I'd like to say.
Oh, Eleanor's my favorite from Berseria.
Me too, she's so good.
Yeah, like they're both like I've always said that like Eleanor is like definitely like I put Laphicet over Eleanor personally, but Eleanor is definitely up there because of how she was essentially able to grow, and I'm a character person, so I like it when characters grow the series and whatnot. But since you both play Berseria, you both mentioned you mentioned Eleanor is your favorite Jenachuu. How about yours, Cherrim? Which one's your favorite in the cast?
Eleanor is also my favorite.
Nice.
But I think I've just really liked all of the girls in this game, especially.
They were all good, yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to that and whatnot, with Berseria, you both played it in Japanese. What would you say would be like your favorite voice actor out of the cast in Japanese?
Magilu.
I think for me it was Velvet because I expected her character to be a lot more maybe I'm not sure how to say it. I expected her to be a bit more severe than she was, but her Japanese voice actress does a really good job of softening her when it's required. And I thought that just really did wonders for her character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
In general, Velvet's just a well done character in all the
Yeah.
ways.
And we think that passage means that he no
Yeah, and
longer
I keep
took
like
Therions
thinking
to
like
be
when I
defined
came back
by
to
the
this
chosen
game
one,
like this year, I was
right?
like thinking, am I gonna have a different
Yes, but
opinion
the
about the
shell
narrative
forever
since like
reborn
I had like
kept bothering
rose
me.
tinted glasses
I've
when I first played this game in
reconsidered my
2018 because I took a Tales
Suppose
break.
that instead of
I was wondering if it was
someone
gonna be like a
being
bit of a
chosen by
different
Lumina to
opinion, but I still feel like this narrative is pretty
Therions, that
strong.
Lumina
I'm gonna say it's
chooses
my
to
favorite, but
become
it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
But so long as
Agreed.
there is one
I also had
receptacle to
rose tinted
divine
glasses
power,
because
Therions
I'm
shall
part of the
forever
1% who really likes Zestiria.
Mm.
So like I was very excited about Berseria because I was like I like the world. I like the world building, and I have one of the those books that has like all this extra information for Zestiria in Japanese.
Are you
So,
really
like,
that surprised?
I just really loved the
Aquarius has
world,
always been
and I was
motivated by
excited to come back to it in a different way.
As I well know.
I want to say that when I first played Zestiria, it also, if we talk about rose-tinted glasses with Berseria, I had what's the opposite of that? Dark, thorny glasses for Zesty? But anywho, like, cause like,
That's totally fine. I understand.
it's not just that, it's more like, cause like, I just played Eternia, Innocence R, and Dawn of the New World that year, so I was really tailsed out, I think, by the end of that year. And it also didn't help that like Zestiria had quite a polarizing response. So like when I played it, yeah, sure did. When I played it in 2015 twice, I didn't particularly like it. But Berseria brought me back to try it again, and I'm actually not as hard on it as I was when I first played
Yeah,
it.
Berseria is definitely the better game of the two, for sure.
So there's only so many around.
I don't know what it is about Zesty that just like, I don't know, I enjoy it. I'm not a very critical person. I'll just be like, you know what, I had fun, that was good enough. So that's probably why I'm not as critical of it. But Berseria, I definitely do think is the better game in general, at least.
I want to say that I like, okay, I'm just talking from pure gameplay perspective, so please don't mind me with this, but I think I like Zestiria's gameplay better than Berseria. Despite the camera, I know everybody keeps talking about the camera, but I think Zestiria, they were able to implement the linking very well compared to Exilia 1 and Exilia 2. Like, it didn't feel like it was as needed to those games because enemies respond to armatization and whatnot differently. But yeah, I could see like Berseria being the much more ease of entry for those who did not particularly like Zestiria.
Real poser you got there. With the Abbey in
Yeah.
control of the entire continent.
I think my issue with Zestiria's gameplay was always that like it kind of, if you weren't playing Sorey or Rose, say, like it was just kind of difficult to do it because those were the only ones that could armatize, and the whole game was so based on that. And then if you were trying to play it with someone else, it compounded it a bit more.
Oh
Yeah, it was limiting in its own special way.
Yeah, like, I think, like, the biggest thing, like, when it comes to Zestiria, that's, like, a common thing that's carried over with, like, Exilia 1 and Exilia 2, is, like, the linking really did not make it, like, a 4-player game, but more like a 2-player game. But,
Yeah.
like, yeah. Like, when it
You
comes...
can tell they've sort of been trying to put the co-op by the wayside with each game release, and it seems like they've finally given up on even pretending with removing it in Arise, but it's a shame because I really like playing Tales as a co-op series.
Don't pay them any
Yeah.
mind.
Same here. Like, well, especially when it comes to, like, Arise, like, particularly, it's like, I'm glad that's making a lot of positive pushes, but the one thing I miss, which obviously is too late for now, is that there's no multiplayer, so all I can do is hope that the next game does have multiplayer, because playing these games with friends is always a fun time, with anything in general, but this in particular, Tales games are designed for it, it really works well.
Yeah. Like, Lumina Tales sort of, yeah, like, started because me and Stray Lies played Destiny DC and Destiny 2 together. And now here we are. So,
Yes, sir. You're such
Multiplayer is fun.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends near me who play Tales though, so unfortunately I wouldn't be able to use it in a Rise anyway.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Like, I think that's like well, I know people locally who play Tales, but I'm kind of more from like the casual side of things, where when I play with friends, we're kind of like super casual about everything. We're not super hardcore, but even then, it's like yeah, they like I told some of my friends, like her and her fiance is like, oh, Rise is not gonna have multiplayer. They're like, what? What? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weird, right? It's like, and he's just like, yeah, that's so weird. And it's just, it's unfortunate because like it's good to share with friends and whatnot when you have the opportunity to, because it definitely creates a lot of relations. But I know for the crowd that generally don't, like I can see where they're coming from. It's like, oh yeah, multiplayer, it's not a big deal, but it's such a identity with the series that it's so unfortunate when it becomes lost every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep on pushing forward here. What were your first Tales of games that you both played, out of curiosity? If you'd like to start, Cherrim.
For me, it was Tales of Symphonia. A lot of people in a Pokemon forum that I frequented at the time were playing it, and so I asked for it for Christmas, and my brother and I were so excited that we could actually play together. So we started buying every Tales game after that.
Oh, that's cute.
You know how
My first was Tales of the Abyss. I don't remember why it was my first. I think it's just because the designs were the most interesting to me. But then, like, I always have this flashback because when I was like tiny, I saw Tales of Symphonia in like a Blockbuster. Yeah, a Blockbuster.
Nice.
And I just remember seeing it, but like I had this weird vision of anime games where I was like, there's no way it's gonna be good. It's gonna look weird like I've seen other anime games look. And then like I didn't play it, and I've always regretted not getting it from that Blockbuster, but at least I got into the series eventually.
So those Tales of the Abyss you got from the Blockbuster too afterwards, or was it just elsewhere?
No, I feel like I had this friend on like DeviantArt that liked Abyss, and that might have got me to look at the Tales series again, and then I was like, yeah, that one looks the best to me. So then I played it, but it's so hazy.
That's fair. Yeah, like honestly, Cherrim, I kind of really relate with your story about like the Pokemon forum, because that was when I first like. It wasn't a Pokemon forum, but it was like a Nintendo forum. Like, I was pure Nintendo, and then they were talking about Tales of Symphonia. I was like, oh, I should try it out. And I tried it. I'm like, now I'm in this very deep rabbit hole that I will never get out of, basically.
Yeah, I think it's like Nintendo fandom, it just, at that time, was so hungry for JRPGs, because there was like basically nothing else on the system. I think some of the other mainstays of JRPG that were on GameCube and stuff were much later. But at least people from my generation who didn't have like the Final Fantasies on the SNES and stuff like that, like Symphonia was one of their first attempts at JRPGs, and it was like nothing they'd ever played before, so it was like really big hype all over the internet, at least.
Yeah, the hype was so huge for that one, like, especially because, like, I think, like, the only other RPG that was kind of out was, like, Evolution Worlds, I want to say, done by Treasure, if that kind of sounds familiar, but there were...
I don't think I've even heard of it.
Oh, no, see, that's really a dictation of the slim pickings that are on the console, unfortunately. Granted, though, Evolution Worlds is pretty good from what I heard, so more power to that game, but this is the Tales of Marathon stream, so this is all Tales, all day, all 8 days. Anywho, Tales of, yeah, Symphonia, Abyss, very good choices. I'm guessing both of you have played like a majority of the Tales games, it sounds. Oh, Cherrim, I know you played like a majority of them. Jenna, did you play through like a majority of them too?
Yeah, the only ones I haven't finished, I've played halfway through them, but haven't finished, are Eternia and Fantasia. I need to go back and do them someday.
Eternia is so good.
Yes.
I get like halfway through and then something distracts me and then I forget the story and I have to start over again. I've done it like 3 times.
Oh, that's relatable though.
Oh, so relatable. Oh my gosh. And what were some games that did you finish every game that you picked up, Cherrim, for Tales, or were there some that were also left in the dust like that?
I've done all of like the old Mothership Tales, like before they just changed it recently to like crossover in main game. I've done all of the Mothership titles. The only one I haven't like finished is Tempest, which I was playing with a friend. We were just like passing off the controller when we got a bit further, I think.
Sometimes the answer is right under
And
your
then
nose. I think it might work.
I don't know, we got halfway through, and then I think the semester ended and I had to go home for a bit, and we just never picked it back up again. But one day I'll have to go back to that.
I don't blame you. I'm still waiting on Tempest R. I'll wait forever if I have to.
Yes,
The
yes.
only game that needed to be remade, and it wasn't.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Like I didn't mind it. It seemed like a very short game, so like I'm sure I
it's
could
very
just go
short.
back and knock it out in a week or something if I really tried.
Honestly, probably less. Like, it's definitely the shortest Tales game from what I remember.
Yeah, and like the characters they're charming enough. I wouldn't say it was like groundbreaking or anything, but it was fine.
Yeah.
One day.
I just come on, just make Tempest R. That's all I wanted. I want to like the game.
I heard about your confrontation.
Go off. Let it all out. Let all the Tempest R woes go.
I'm just so sad.
What I do want to say, Cherrim, if you're wondering about like length of the game, it's shorter than Eternia. That kind of helps because that game is so short. Yeah.
Tempest is kind of just like, it's like bare bones what it could have been, rather than like as fleshed out as other Tales games tend to be. Like, I think you could like only get like chats at like tents if you like did like a campfire or something like that. I can't remember, but like there was not a whole lot of interaction going on in the game, which is like, I was interested, and then they crushed my spirits.
Yeah, it just seems like it needed a bit more fleshing out, probably. Which, again, the R would have done. But
yeah, the basis
here
was
we are.
there. I'm gonna rewrite Tempest. I'm gonna do it.
That's like a to-do list. That's a to-do list right down there. I see.
I'm never gonna do it, but like the dream is there.
The dream is there.
My favorite is like it has such a banger opening, and then like the video for it is just this terrible DS footage. It's so funny.
Oh my god!
Ah, no.
Like the song is so good, and then the video, like the opening, they didn't even splurge for an anime opening. It's so funny.
I mean, they got bits and pieces of the anime. Like it's kind of there. Like it's not all DS, but yeah, it's mostly all DS.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Mko, if you're watching,
No, it's not that.
I need you to do one thing for me. Make Tempest R.
There's
There's interest.
I mean,
At least 3 people want it.
3 people want it, please.
Okay. Why?
so it used to be the joke before about Tempest R, but you know what? Raze has done a good job giving some attention to the Tempest characters. That I want to give them that much at least.
Oh, that makes me happy. I haven't played Raze. I'm not like a huge mobile game person. I love Christoria, but like I've been meaning to try Raze. So if it gives Tempest characters more love, then I might try it sooner.
It definitely does. I would definitely recommend looking into it because it's nice to see some forest like it's nice to see Tempest appearances that aren't Caius and Rubia for once. Like it's so refreshing. I don't have nothing against the characters, but that's been a common thing since Radiant Mythology too, like 10 years at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard Raze is like incredible for giving attention to characters that you would never expect to end up in a game like that. I need to.
Oh, good.
I played it a bit when it came out in English, I think. Or no, I played it a bit when they added Alvin to the game. But now I'm like completely gacha free, and I'm like, I can't go back.
Oh,
I'll just have to look up the story sometime.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, being
Gacha's
gacha free.
difficult.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like essentially what they did with the Raze particularly. It was cool to see the characters come back and they get extra moves and stuff like that. It's like, oh my gosh, like a lot of it's just been Caius and Rubia so many times. That's just like, we get it. They're the first 2 main characters. You're not doing anything else with them. So to see that they dived that far was like really cool to like experience. I definitely recommend it. Well, since you're going to be mobile free, maybe watching it somewhere at least. Alright.
Well, it sounds like it really does the source material justice whenever it pulls people in.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about Raze. It's just like, gosh, that's a lot of effort, and I already have to play Genshin and Crestoria.
Yeah.
And then the new game that's almost Lumina. What is it? Lumina?
Oh, my gosh.
Luminaria, I
Yeah.
believe.
Luminaria, that's it.
Yeah.
We did it. We found the next Tales game accidentally.
Yeah, we were laughing about that.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine. Just for a heads up for those who are tuning in for the preview did play during the break, but after a certain point, we will play it again. We do have to go through marathon things, particularly, I am holding a giveaway for this event. If you go to bit.ly/TOMS3 lowercase giveaway, you can also see on the Twitch title here, you can see the full rules of the giveaway, and the giveaway also includes the Tales of Arise Collector's Edition, Tales of Berseria Collector's Edition, Tales of Exilia Collector's Edition, Tales of Symphonia Chronicles Collector's Edition, and Tales of Exilia Limited Edition PS3 from Japan. So it's going to be a big prize pack. If you want to have the opportunity to play more Tales, I recommend sticking around to see the giveaway, and then you'll see the preview that was already shown during the break. But you'll have another opportunity to view it afterwards.
That Exilia PS3 is like the most gorgeous thing in the world.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was just sanitizing and everything. I was like, man, this looks really, really good. It'd be nice to have in my collection, but it's not for me. It's for a lucky viewer, I'd like to say.
You're so kind. I don't think I could ever part with mine.
Oh, you have it too? You have it too?
I do have one. It's like one of my prized Tales possessions.
Nice.
Just have to find that the controller that came with Exilia 2 that matches it.
Oh, wow. I forgot about the controller. That was like, they kept it separate as well. I remember seeing it as like $100 though, like Canadian.
Yeah.
It's like,
One day.
One day. It's a giveaway chosen on stream or at the end tomorrow. After the giveaway will be held on September 9th. A lot of it's just like I'm waiting for Bamco to see when they're gonna send out the collector's edition, since it's being handled differently compared to other years where I could go to an EB Games and pick it up, or GameStop if you like to call it. But now they're just keeping it regulated in North America by Bamco's own stock. So bear with me. I'll try to get it out as much as possible, but at least we'll get the giveaway done on... The draw will be done on the 9th, is what I'm trying to say.
The suppression.
Yes. So here at this part of the game, we're going to be learning a little bit more about the malevolence and what we just saw between Benwick and that guy trying to haggle us or something. But yeah, like just when more does Hysteria start to come up in this game. And I mentioned this before the break, when they started to dive into this, I was distracted because, again, I wasn't a fan of Zesteria. So when Berseria started to dive into Zesteria, I was like, oh no. I was more like worried than anything else. But again, at the end of the day, this game essentially gave me the opportunity to go back and play Zesteria, and I'm not as harsh on it as I used to be.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I knew it. Prince
Oh,
Percival.
Okay.
Prince Percival, our little alliteration royalty right over here.
I completely forgot about him.
So did I.
I'm sorry, dude. You were very lovable.
Oh. I thought he was he kind of had a role because he sort of like, well, I like his reveal where it's like coming around with a hood like a Jew. It's like, oh, this guy could mean big business. But then when he unhoods us, I was like, oh, he's just a normal face royalty. I get it, but I expect something more powerful.
It's like this big reveal, and I'm just like, who? Oh, right.
Oh, poor Princey. But he's gonna have a role later on. Actually, he's gonna show his role right now. He's gonna show us the reason why he came here on this boat, because he's gonna learn it afterwards, because we got a skate cutscene going on. How about these skate cutscenes, everybody? I already commented too much about it, commented throughout the marathon. You could tell the game was certainly came out a year after Zesteria because of how quickly they used Zesteria's system and whatnot. What do you guys think about the skit presentation of this game when it comes to constantly being used in the main narrative?
And how useful he could be to us.
I thought the skits looked very, so I didn't mind it that much. But it was kind of a shame that, like, you couldn't really tell when you were getting a skit that was like actually plot or just like a typical skit.
Not if the ones we
Yeah.
face are after his life
Like,
too.
I don't hate it because, like, my imagination just kind of fills in the blanks of like where they're standing and talking and stuff. But I don't know. I'd be happier with the cutscenes. Skits are fine, I guess.
It's a bit like Legendia, which also did this, where like almost all of the plot took place in skits, and if it didn't, it was like these super exaggerated cutscenes. So the skits were almost better when you go back to it years and years later.
I get skits when they're like in the games where like they don't have like the best graphics for the game, but this one like there was a lot of effort put into these graphics, and they were just sometimes ignored.
So my question is, would you use that same argument for what Arise is doing right now with the skits?
I am not a fan of Arise's skits. I was really hoping the demo would win me over, but
I haven't played the demo. I'm gonna go in blind. I haven't even seen the skits, I just know of them.
Well, I wish you better luck than I had.
Like I said before, I'm less critical, so like I'll have fun either way. But if they look bad, it will be jarring. But I don't know what they look like.
I'm sure it's something you get used to.
Probably.
Yeah, like I feel like that's good. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say I love the anime artist like illustrations that they always have for skits. So I'll be sad to lose my 2D.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, for me, like, it's also the same, like, I can make an opinion about it, but it's just, like, I'm gonna wait until I play the game, because, like, when I play the game, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a better opinion about the skits altogether, besides, like, how the visuals look at the end of the day. Let's see here. So this monkey is, like, a leftover from when we left from Act 1, so it's not gonna be too much of a big issue. Just keep welling on it with Velvet, welling on it in Velvet, yeah, welling on it with Velvet, when it comes to the gameplay of this game, what do you think about it? Feel free to start off, Jenna, if you'd like.
Berseria?
Yeah, Berseria's gameplay.
I am like the last person to ask about gameplay because I mash buttons. I'm a button mashing idiot when I play games. So like
It was
I
pretty
was like,
good for mashing.
yeah, I liked it because it was fast. I was moving fast, and that excited me. And my little brain was like, "Woo, we go fast," and that was it.
That's fair. That's very fair. How about you, Cherrim? What do you think about the gameplay, the beautiful gameplay of Tales of Berseria? I've gone off on it several times, so feel free to go off.
Yeah, a lot of it, for the most part, I was usually just wishing it was Tales of Graces, because, like, it has bits of Graces' gameplay, but it's just not as fleshed out, I don't think. But it was fun. Like, I also found myself mashing a bit more than I would like, but I really enjoyed playing, again, the girls. I never got the hang of any of the guys somehow, I don't know why, but it was fun switching between the girls.
I hear you, I hear you.
This has my favorite gameplay because I go fastest in that one.
Graces is so good.
I like going fast and doing all like the back steps and the side steps and playing as Sophie and just doing fast punchies.
Yes. Graces was also really good. Like I tend to play casters in Tales games. Like I like to just stand there and cast.
Same.
But like even Graces was like, especially Pascal, she was like the most interesting caster I think Tales has ever had. But like the way you could cast after a combo to make it go faster, to get the spell off quicker, and stuff like that, like it really felt like they were making everyone really playable, as opposed to some games where like the casters especially tend to be an afterthought. And one thing I did like about the Arise demo is Rinwell seems to be designed in that vein as well, where it's going to be a bit more action paced instead of like standing there and tapping the same spell over and over again.
Yes, I wanted to main her because she's my cute favorite. So
I think you'll really like her.
Yes.
I think my biggest thing about because like I didn't play the demos much because I wanted to make sure my mindset was on the 3 games for this marathon. But the one thing that I saw that was kind of cool for the dub was like when I heard blah 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 for like it was like it's such a better way of doing the blah 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 thing that we've heard for all the other games. Like when I heard blah blah blah, it's like that's perfect. No, nothing can top that. Now we peaked. We peaked.
Did it, folks?
Yeah.
Until we capture
Yeah,
the
so,
island,
yeah, honestly,
let's see
Berseria,
if
that's a
this
good
team
point.
varsity
You both
today.
bring up Graces. That's a game I've been meaning to revisit in terms of gameplay, because I think that might be the new oldest of the Tales games I haven't played of recent memory. And I know that, like, the gameplay... Yeah, Graces. I know that the gameplay has, like, a lot of potential there, especially because, like, it sets the foundations for, like, the casting that you just mentioned, like, with regards to Berseria and Zestiria as well. So, I feel like I might have a better approach with it, especially even after I, like, play a game like DC.
Yeah.
I feel like Graces set a lot of like kind of precedents in the battle system that like kind of get watered down in the games that came after it, but they still like a lot of games connect back to Graces.
Yeah, I think it's like they knew that they had such great ideas there that they wanted to keep using them even if sometimes they didn't always fit. But you see them take bits and pieces from it all the time now.
Looks real tasty.
Yeah, like, I keep seeing it, like, in the other games and whatnot. That's why I'm kind of like, I really do want to, like, give it another chance. Because, I know people generally, at the time, people were, like, generally really not liking Graces, but I feel like people have warmed up to it a bit more over the years.
Aw, I loved it. It was my first Tales game I played in Japanese, so it was like, it's special to me. It's my baby.
Aw.
Got an added portion of, yeah, I hear you. I'm trying to remember what I have for my party here, because, by the way, everybody, we are back in Titania. We're going to be looking for, what was looking for? We're looking for the Therion here, but also, get used to this. You're going to be coming back to this place so many times. You better know the layout of this place, or you're going to get lost. You're going to get lost, really. Like, right now, I'm lost already. I should not be here at this point in time. Let's just, backtrack and figure out where we're actually supposed to go.
See, I'm vaguely convinced that it just changes the layout every time. I don't get lost. It's the dungeon.
It's never my fault. It's always the game's
Good
fault.
way to look at it. I have
Yeah,
no
like-
sense of direction, so like even the easiest places to get around take me like 700 years to get used to. So this place was interesting for me.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the number of times you come back here, you would think that it would be easier to navigate, but like every single time, I remember getting lost.
Yeah, like, you know, especially, what are words I'm looking for?
Big old demons roaming.
Like, Abyss is also old on the games that I've last played for a very long time ago. But with Abyss, there was Dot, and Dot, I think, might be on the same level as this dungeon. I'll never forget Dot, because navigating that place was really, really rough. I don't know, how do you feel about it, Jenna?
Which place?
Dot.
Oh, Dot. Gosh.
Oh, sorry.
my God.
What was it in Japanese? What was it in Japanese?
It's just
D-A-A-T-H?
Dato.
Oh, Dato? Okay.
Wait,
Like
in
Dot,
Abyss?
the
Yeah, in Abyss.
where like Ion comes from and stuff.
Racking my brain. That place,
With the
yes,
big
okay.
church
I'm remembering it now. I'm so bad at names of people and places. No,
Oh,
I
okay.
remember it.
Understandable.
I also got lost there.
I've been going through a whole bunch of games lately. Well, I say a whole bunch of games. It takes us absolutely forever with one of my friends lately. And the most recent, we're on Eternia now, but right before that, we played Abyss. And the number of times we got just completely lost, and like half of our game session would just be wandering around DOS trying to stumble upon the room that it wanted us to go to. Like, it's so unkind. It could at least bring you to the room and then have you try to get out, but you have to like try to find the room and then try to find your way back out again. It was just, it's so bad. And we're like, some of the times we're going through there, we're like, what is even the purpose of some of these rooms? They don't make any sense. It's just to make us suffer. Like, I love Abyss, but gosh, some of its dungeons.
Yep. Oh yeah. And like all of it looks the same, so like what am I
Yeah.
supposed to
You go through like the same hallway 6 different times, except one time it brings you somewhere different. You're like, what? Where am I?
I think the big thing about Dot, I don't know, like, it's been 7 years, so my opinions aren't as fresh, so I might be misremembering things, but the dungeon design, I don't remember being too bad. That could be the rose-tinted glasses, but Dot, like, they had that huge, like, thing in the center that teleports you to so many different places. It kind of makes me wish that they could have actually teleported you to the place you're actually supposed to go, because you really explored that entire church everywhere, and I mean everywhere.
And every time you go there, because you never know where you're going.
Different from me.
Any sort of thing that involves teleportation confuses me instantly. Second teleportation gets put into any sort of puzzle, any sort of location, I'm like, I can't do this. You have to show me very clearly where I'm going.
Yeah. I'm one of the few people who, like, I know some people are really upset that Tails has sort of gone away from dungeons in recent games. Like, you'll maybe have big elemental ones or something, but for the most part, it's just like point A to point B.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm here for that. My little brain can't handle all the dungeons
it's like,
and puzzles these days.
on the one hand, like, puzzles are fun. On the other hand, it takes me too long.
I know. And, like, I always have to get through a dungeon before I stop my session, because with some places, like, I know if I put it down now, I'm never going to pick it up again. And then I'm going to have to start from the beginning next time I try to play the game, 8 months from now.
Yeah.
That's so
There's an
relatable.
argument for both sides. Like, just, I'm okay with games being a straight path and having, like, a couple of paths going off to the side. I'm not okay with things like that one wall bridge or whatever in Graces. And there's a clear line being drawn in the sand for me.
There was a time when I knew Wallbridge like the back of my hand, because I had replayed Graces so many times in like a short span.
Oh gosh.
Now I couldn't tell you anything about it. Like, I just... Ugh.
I don't think this break footage showed up first. I think it's actually tomorrow, but I did have to go through Wallbridge again this year to sort of like remember what to do. And I thought, oh, you know, just go through Wallbridge, record a cutscene, it'll be easy. Nope, let's spend 2 hours in the same dungeon. It's like, all right.
I hate that place with all of my
I don't
being.
even think it's like the worst of the Graces dungeons in terms of getting lost, but it's like, it's so early on in the game that it's like a big hurdle for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because you're still like convincing yourself, like, well, not necessarily convincing yourself, but you're still like getting used to the characters and like getting used to the game, and all of a sudden it throws Wallbridge at you, and it's not like you're so super invested that you have to get through it, sort of thing. So I know several people who just stopped there.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, why would they do that? It was so bad.
I want to say it's like a weird, I want to say, what am I looking for? It's a weird sort of like premonition for elevation puzzles, dungeons in Tales of Exilia. Because if you thought you didn't know which floor and which level you were at, well, we're going to let you get ready for the next game in the series right here. Alright, so...
I kind of liked Berseria's dungeons.
what was...
It was a nice kind of not quite point A to B, but at least a little bit of something in between, and they didn't all look the same like in Berseria.
Yeah.
Exilia for me, it's like it's been also, it's like on the same level of a bit of last revisits and whatnot, but I think the only thing about it is that like there's the occasional boxes that you could like climb on and knowing which floor you're at, but I mean at the end of the day it wasn't too intrusive at the end of the day, but I thought they were just okay. I need to revisit the game in other words.
Now's a good time. I think today is the 11th anniversary of its release in Japan.
Oh, that's... Wouldn't it be
I believe that
10?
was yesterday. I guess today here, yesterday Japan. Well,
Wouldn't it be-
not yesterday Japan.
Didn't that game come out in 2011? Wouldn't it be the 10th anniversary?
I think it is the 10th anniversary, and I can't read.
That's okay.
Quite possible.
Alright. So right now we're dealing with this boss right over here. This boss, Velvet Shenanigans, that's all you gotta do, basically. You use the Break Soul, mash it, you know, your usual Velvet stuff. We're only using Velvet because, well, this is very plot relevant to Velvet, this dungeon, I guess. So that's why I'm aiming to use her for now, and it'll take a couple years, or not years, a couple bosses after before I use her again. Maybe after today, a couple years. We'll see. I don't know. I just don't particularly like
You
playing
don't have a couple of years. You gotta finish the marathon.
That is true. That is true. Surprise, everybody. The last day of the marathon will be 5 years from now, so get ready for it. And then that's what I'll do to give away. But then
Hold on to that Exilia PS3 a little bit longer. I see how it is.
you caught me. You figured me out. But yes, right over here, I think we're going to be learning about Are we gonna learn about it right over here? It's been 2 months I've seen the cutscenes. Like I did practice the fighting, but not the cutscenes. So it's been a moment, that's for sure. But I think this is where we learn about the Therion here. Yes.
What is this place? Welcome to the most secure cell in the entire complex. The darkest hole.
It's a nice little reveal. Well, I mean, it's not really a reveal for us because we kind of knew if you listened to Arthur at the start of the game, but for everybody else, it's like, yeah, especially Eleanor is pretty much like the most out of the loop compared to everybody else here to learn what the Therion is that shows up at this point, like in this area. Oh, Velvet theme. We're at 8 times we have heard the theme right now. Are we at 8? No, we're at 9. 9 times we have heard the theme in the game. Yes, I am keeping a count because I just want to see.
It's so good. So I understand.
Yeah, it's really good. The thing is that I thought at first like they maybe played it a lot throughout the game, but that's what I'm keeping a count right now to see like what the final count is. Like I'm keeping a count of the Velvet theme, and I'm also keeping a count of the why do birds fly question. And quite like we haven't heard it for a while. I think it's been since Act 1 we heard why do birds fly. So we're kind of doing good for that one compared to Velvet
What's the
theme.
count so far for that one?
We're currently at 3. All at the beginning.
Oh, okay. See, maybe it's just because they front load it, but I always thought it was just constant. Like I came away from the game remembering that line a lot, but
it's the same scenario like Courage is a magic that turns dreams into a reality. Like when I played it in 2015, I thought I was gonna be hearing it a lot. I tried to be dumb and do a stupid game with it too, but basically you only hear it much at the beginning, but you don't hear it much at all in the game afterwards. Like there's also like a narrative sense to that too. Like it really sort of like adds to Emil's growth throughout the game since at that point, I like to say.
Love
I know at
Emil.
least with yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I love Emil.
Yeah, I think that one is like you hear the line in the game, and then about like 5 minutes later, you hear the first flashback of it, even though it just happened. And I think that's why it became such a meme, because like it's not like they repeat it a ton. It's just they repeat it so quickly after the first time you hear it. You're like, I remember that. It was just now.
And there's a narrative reason to that. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Basically, mostly spoils what Emil is, but it is clever once you think of it from that perspective. So right over here, I don't know if you were able to catch the voice work during that scene, but I really liked what Christina V with the Velvet during that, because it was at the point where it's like, I went through that crap. I went through all this. You think your Artorias is everything, Eleanor? Do you think he's all that? And it's kind of like, it really had a lot to work with for Christina V in this particular scene. So it was cool to see her go off that way.
Yeah, I love her. She's a really great voice actress.
Me too. I was so excited when I found out she would be in Tales. I think she was first in Exilia 2 as
Yes.
oh, what's her name? Vel?
Nova. Vel is Michelle.
Nova, that's the one. Yeah. And then I was like extremely excited to hear she would be a main character as well in Berseria.
I'll be honest, when I first heard prologue Velvet, I thought I had to like give a million gold, but that's a different story altogether. But yeah, like Velvet, like Christina V, I still remember like this is gonna be like old Dave's YouTube talking. Like she used to do like so many like song covers and everything of like anime.
Yeah,
I knew her for that, and then she started to do anime roles, and I'm like, good for her.
same. I was just like, I remember when you were just a small-time YouTuber, and now look at you go.
Yeah, and you can say that for like a lot of other like voice actors too. You guys see like Little Karibo in like Zestiria for some weird reason, and yeah, you also see like what was Rina-chan like as Edna from Zestiria as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's a lot of them basically that's like coming up. It's like, oh man, I remember your covers, I remember your weird videos and all that. Good times, good times.
explain a few things.
So he sacrificed his little brother.
You know what? I think I just realized like how much longer this part is. So maybe we might just show the preview after the next boss fight. So that should appeal to those who were expecting to see it sooner. So yeah. Let's just see how much we can keep pushing forward here, because I keep forgetting just like all these skit cutscenes and whatnot. But the cool thing about it is that like Eleanor is now getting like even more realized of the different perspective. The big part of it I think that helped out was the previous dungeon where she saw Kabawana and her mom. So like that was definitely the starting point where Eleanor starts to have a different perspective of viewing demons compared to what she learned in the Abbey. What the?
Ready for this?
Let's run away. Oh. It just suddenly appeared right in front of me. I'm like, please stop. Please stop. Get out of here. Get out of here. Run, 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 run. Okay. So, yeah, like, again, there's, like, arcs here that I like as we keep going through this narrative. But for me, I particularly like, Eleanor. Well, I like Laphicet's more, but Eleanor certainly is, like, a close second for me.
So it turns out that
Eleanor is my girl, but I love Laphicet and Velvet's character arcs a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say are like your favorite cast in the series then, Cherrim, if you'd like to go off with that?
Oh, that's a big question.
Yeah,
That's
right.
really
Tales is
difficult.
like, characters are my favorite thing in Tales. I think my favorite ensemble cast might be Grace's, because I think they just fit together really well in interesting ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Like how they like bounce off of each other and everything, or is it because they're childhood
Yeah,
friends,
like
or...
When Therions are connected to Inominat through an earth.
I think I came away with it with the most affection for that cast, and I can't really say why, because I feel like they didn't maybe go together as well, now that I'm thinking about it. Because, like, some of them knew each other from really, like, long ago, and then there's just kind of Malik and Pascal kind of there. But I felt like they did a really good job of just having the characters interact with each other, and that's always what appeals to me the most out of anything in Tales games.
I find it convenient.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
that makes sense.
I'll never forget my
How about
hatred
you,
for
Jenna?
Artorias.
That's like really hard because like it's always like I have favorite characters and then least favorite characters in every game, but think maybe Rebirth's cast.
Ooh, good choice. Good
Rebirth
choice.
is so
I just really love that game in general and the characters and the amount of views they have on what's happening in the story and things like that.
Yeah, like that's also like one of my favorites too, like Rebirth and definitely Legenia. But both of you guys brought up some really good choices, and I am looking forward to revisiting Graces someday because I just watched a friend of mine play it, and I'm like, you know what? I wish I was playing that game instead of Vesperia, but that's a different story altogether. In any case, that's. I don't mind Vesperia, like in terms of like gameplay. Like gameplay is a lot of fun. Narrative is a different story altogether. I only like Act 2, but that's pretty much it for that game. But we're not playing Vesperia, we're playing Berseria as Eleanor does a super jump, and everybody else falls. Man, I always wonder about their knees and everything whenever they make those landings. Gravity doesn't do well for you.
It's okay, they're JRPG characters, they can handle it.
Yes. JRPG's characters don't feel pain.
Except emotional.
Exactly. Alright, so I'm going to be dealing with this boss right over here. It's straight up carried over from Tales of Zestiria. You'll recognize it from the Wind Trial specifically. So, it's the exact same model. Welcome back, Dullahan. And I think our strategy here is just nothing but Velvet shenanigans. So, break soul, rinse, repeat. Break soul, rinse, repeat. Etc, etc. I think I got everything right for this. Let's change this up to... what's a good one? I guess I could do 2 rising moves in a row, or a harsh rebuttal. Okay, I think that should be okay. All right, cool. So when it comes to battles, okay, I think we did talk about battles, like favorite battles. You both said Graces, right?
I think so.
Yeah, definitely Graces for me.
How about did we cover favorite narratives? Question mark. I think we did we? I think we did. Yeah. Favorite. Oh, did we? Okay. Then in that case, then, what would you say would be your favorite characters of the series? days, that's for sure. Who's number one for all y'all?
My favorite character is Philia. She's so
Hey.
sweet and so good.
Good girl.
And then she blows things up.
Heck yeah, Philia Bomb.
Philia Bomb for days. I remember, like, specifically, like, her backstory was also kind of interesting, too, for, when it was presented in Tales of Destiny. At least, I only played PSX, so, whatever is added on DC, I can't particularly comment on. I apologize.
It's okay. It's good in all forms.
Yes.
Fair enough, fair enough. How about you, Jenna? What would be number one for you?
Surprisingly, Saray. He's just my son. I love him. He's pure. I don't care if he has very minimal character arc. I love that little guy.
I mean that's a pretty common choice usually when it comes to like people who like Zestiria. I know Zestiria is still a very polarizing title, so it's hard to believe sometimes, but I still think that for those who like Zestiria, a majority of the opinions like, oh, they really like Saray. So it's like, I think when you find that people who appreciate Saray, you are going to be in common company when you run into them. Yeah, the Zestiria fans.
Just a sweet boy. Like, it's hard though, because I like at least one character from every game, I would say, is in my favorite character pool, but it's so hard to choose one.
Yeah.
I think with the thing with Zestiria, like, that also took me some time to accept. It's like, Saray, I don't think was particularly a character that needed a character arc, because he was kind of like the type that was like on the same vein as Mila, I like to say, in Exilia 1. Unless people would like to correct me, feel free to do so. I'd love to talk about it. Cause, like,
I don't remember her enough to have an opinion on that, but like, just Saray does have some like growth, of course, throughout the game, but he's fine the way he is to me, I guess.
Okay.
My son.
He's your son. You love him unconditionally. That's just how it goes.
Exactly.
There you go.
I would protect his little smile for anything.
I see. Let's see. We could get Elnor more up to the balance beat here, because like I need some more neutral attacks going on here. You know what? Yeah, I didn't really mind Saray too much in the game when I revisited it. Like, I have more of a understanding as to where he's coming from, and yeah, he does have some like flaws here that I would say, but it's not a bad thing for a character to not have too many flaws either. Like, I mean, they all have to like serve the purposes of the narrative and whatnot at the end of the day. But with that in mind, what do you think about like Saray and Zesty the Cross then?
I did not watch all of that, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't even remember most of the stuff that they changed, because it was like a blip on my radar at the time. I should watch it at some point, because I've heard that like people like what they did, but then it's also polarizing as well in that way.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of not Zestiria fans really liked it, and then Zestiria fans were not huge fans of it.
Yes. That's a very
So
common
I feel like I should probably watch it.
I see. Yeah. Honestly, Zestiria the Cross is good. Like, I like it because it's very different. Because it's like, it's not like a faithful anime adaptation, and I'm not usually the type to watch anime, so it works for me in that regard. But when it comes to the content in it, it's definitely like, it seems to be the consensus, like what Cherrim mentioned. Like, if you like Zestiria, there's a high chance you might not like the anime. But I would rather keep that in mind if you are, when you get to watching it eventually, I like to say, Jenna.
Well, I remember hearing spoilers like about like the stuff that they changed, and I thought it was cool. Like, I like Zestiria, but I fully recognize all of the flaws it has, which there are many. So like, I'm fine with them changing things up. I think it's pretty neat, and it's also just, it's more fun for me when things are new as well. So it's like, if I get new content, then hell yeah.
That's a good mentality to have for
way.
the show. Yeah. good mentality to have once you get to it. I think you can find it in Funimation still. I don't think you need an account for it. I want to say question mark. But if you do,
I have a Funimation account right now. So I should probably hurry up and watch that before I let it fire.
So it's the one thing that's bad. If you get caught by a stun in this game, you're gonna get hurt a lot. And that's why I fell with Velvet. Don't mind me.
That's why I stand back and cast.
That's good. That's the thing. Like, for me, I'm not particularly the casting type of person, but I know people who genuinely like playing as the casters, so I understand the appeal for it, that's for sure. Or throwing bombs in Therions' case.
That's where if they get a little bit too close.
Yeah. I still can't believe, like, I first got exposed to a lot of the other characters in the Tales series when I played Naruto Dungeon 3 on the GBA. And then, like, I think Philia and Mary are, like, the first couple of characters you pick up after Kaio and Loni. So I picked them up, and then, like, I'm like, oh, it's a priestess. She's just gonna heal and stuff, right? And then I see in her art list, she throws bombs. I'm like, what? What does that have to do with it? Yeah, right?
That's one of the things I love about her. Like, she looks like your typical cleric healer, and then she's the one who has indignation. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not even just indignation. I was just surprised by the fact that she has, like, chemical bombs in her repertoire. I was like, where does these come from? I'm so confused. But no, the indignation is definitely a big part of it, too.
Yeah, that's one thing I miss about, like, the spin-offs Tales used to get. That's how I was introduced to a whole bunch of characters, including Philia. I think I first met her in Tales of Verses when I played it. But,
oh my gosh!
I love the characters in Tales so much, and it's so interesting to see them all interact with each other in, like, new settings and crossover. I love that sort of thing.
What's it called? When it comes to Tales of Versus, I can't believe that's like your first introduction to Philia, so you must have seen like all the bombs that she was throwing all together in that, huh?
The first time I remember taking notice of her, it's like this part where she's lost her glasses and Jade Curtis is just standing off to the side like laughing at her and not helping at all.
Aww.
And then Anis comes up and like chastises him for it. It's extremely fun. She's like bumping into people and like, are you Con Man? Oh, I'm so sorry. And like these people are like, don't look at her, she's so weird. As they like hurry their kids away. It's really funny. And I was like, that's her. I love her. That's my new favorite character.
So cute.
Oh my goodness. I thought... that's such a Jade thing to do. I'm kind of angry, but at the same time, Wallace Jade. What do you expect?
He's such an ass. It's great.
Jade. That's gonna be a character we're gonna have to revisit someday. But yeah, like I forgot Philia was paired up with Kongman, which makes sense, but it's
It's still weird.
Yeah, right? Right?
It makes sense, but it's weird.
Yeah. It's like the biggest thing is like, oh, well, Kongman is not supposed to get with Philia, except in Versus, apparently. It's like, well, that kind of destroys Kongman's whatever's
like
left of his
escorting
character.
her or something? It's been so long since I played.
Oh, I remember Versus. Like, I think the cool thing about Versus, I say, even though I know a lot of the community doesn't really like Versus, the cool thing about Versus was like seeing the sprites of the characters that you ever seen. Like, I think there was a sprite for Luke and Tyr? I know Luke for sure, and Yuri as well. Like, you see them in like 2D sprite form. It's pretty sick on the map.
Oh, that's cute.
I really like Tales of Versus. Like, I know it's technically not a very good game, but it had interesting interactions, and I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah. I think like the big part for me with Versus was just knowing that, like, I know it's not the, like you said, I know it's not the best like Smash Brothers clone or whatever it was trying to be, but for what it was, I thought it was fine, and I know that Ray's has been teasing that Tales of Versus 2, so maybe we'll get a. Well, you remember
that.
So I will have to pick up Rays, is what you're saying.
I mean, no, here's the thing. Like, Rays, they do, like, April Fool's jokes. You know, like, the old school thing?
Right,
Yeah. So, like, they did an April Fool's for Wiz, and then they brought Wiz over. So, it feels like they're, like, features that they want to put into the game. So, like, they did an April Fool's for Tales of Versus, too. But then, like, we're like thinking, so what does that mean? Are you actually gonna do it versus 2 raids? Like you did it for Wiz. I know you did it for Eternia with Wiz. But yeah, it'd be really cool if they did actually take the helm for versus 2, because it'd be so cool to see that game get a redemption.
Why do you
I would be happy.
Yeah, you can really tell how much love goes into Rays, I think.
That's what Lord Artorias
We got the
has
question.
done.
Why do birds fly? All right, that's 4. That's 4.
Good question.
Their bones are light and their wing muscles are enormous.
Oh, that's a cute answer from Laphicet.
Because a bird that cannot fly is no bird at all. That's what I think.
It's like they really emphasize this question through. wait a second. Wait, did Percival time that with the bird? It's like, okay, now you squeal at this point. It's like to emphasize this point. Oh my gosh.
Like, I'm gonna wax philosophical, and at the right moment, you have to cry out.
I appreciate
You practice this, you can do it.
It's a bird trick he's been doing with Griffin all this time. Wow. Percival must have much boring times in the castle, huh? Okay. We got our level ups here.
Percival.
Very nice. Percival. Prince Percival. Let's see here. I think we're all good with that. And is there more cutscene? Yes, there is. After this cutscene, after all the cutscenes, I mean, we'll be showing the preview for the build. And we'll let you guys watch that one more time. Just please bear with me as I try to get it to play again, essentially. But we'll get the preview build up shortly after the next couple of cutscenes for the Tales of Destiny 2 project by Lumina Tales.
Yeah, that's us.
That is- yes, it is. Oh, Kamoana.
All right, fine. Just don't cry on me, okay?
I want to put a sweater on her.
Yes. Something on her. She looks
It's
like
like you're gonna
really
catch a cold, sweetie. Please put on more clothes.
Yes. Have you considered shopping at Hella Beast? We'll find some fantastic clothes for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this expeditions for all these
Aw.
like silly references.
Yeah, I really liked that part. It was.
All right, let's
Cute.
get a quiz. Can we name the mascots on screen here? I can, but I'm curious to hear what if you remember the mascots.
Is one of no. Is one of them Lippy? No.
No, that's I think that's
That's the one
Tales
from
of Link.
Link.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
this is
any
the-
of their names. I've forgotten all of them.
That's fair. It's just a very obscure thing to know, to be honest, so don't feel bad about it. I'm just curious.
Is the first one from the first Radiant mythology?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
that's the only one
best
I
I can do.
Okay. Well, let's see if these names sound familiar. They're Mormal, Peniel, and
Yeah.
Rockspring. Yes, from RM 1, 2, and 3, respectively.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I've only
really
ever
wanna
played the
play
first one in
RM3.
full. I've heard
I
such
played
good
the
things about
first
3.
one 700 years ago, and then I
Yeah.
played the second one. I don't remember any of that. And then I want to play 3 because I've heard that's the best one.
Yeah, I remember getting a bit through the second one and then stopping and going, I think I would appreciate this more if I'd played all the Tales games. So then I was like, I won't go back to it until I've played all the Tales games. And then I
Yeah.
just never went back when I finished.
The
So
first
Ru-
game was really weird when I'd only played like 3 Tales games, and I was like, who are these people?
You know, I mean, like, most of the people in that game weren't featured in, like, English
Yeah.
Tales games. So it was like, even if I really wanted to, it's not like I could have gone and just picked up the games they're from to learn about them.
Like Eugene and Annie and Harold and Natalie.
Like,
It wasn't
I remember really
Natalie-
liking them.
I think Nonali and Rudy like worked together in the first game or something.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
I remember
yes, they
being
did.
like, I for so long I thought they were both from the same game, but they're in
Same!
fact from the first and the second game in their series, and I was so confused by that.
Yeah, I think I played Destiny for the first time so much later that, like, the whole game I kept waiting for Natalie to show up. And then in the end, I was like, did I just mix up and think that Rudy was Natalie? Because, like, they both have sort of, like, the caring older sister vibe about them. So I was like, maybe they were just one character when I played Radiant Mythology. And I forgot. But
Oh my
and then I played
gosh.
Destiny 2. I was like, oh, no, she is real.
So weird.
And then, like, I
Now
expected
it's like
them
you
to
can
have more to do with each other. I don't know. It was, yeah.
Yeah, joke's on you. Nonali's not born yet.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. That's true. That's right.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's been 2
Destiny 2
years.
takes place Kyle years old after.
It's been super long, like super not born yet.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's time to see if I could get the preview going on again. Okay, so for those who are tuning in again, this will be the same footage that you saw during the break, but I will be playing the Tales of Destiny 2 preview patch by Lumina Tales. Alright, okay, so that's our little preview there for Tales of Destiny 2. That's not, I made sure to pick a scene that wasn't particularly spoilerish. All it is just essentially like a big moment, as you would see in the other games in the series and whatnot. Sorry, I kind of just like jumped in there because I just noticed the opening was coming in. But yeah, so that's really cool that you guys have brought it up to this point, essentially, with regards to the patch. So it's really nice to see like how it comes to fruition in action.
Yes, I love seeing it like in motion because it's like, oh my gosh, it's a real video game.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think now I gotta find Eleanor, and Eleanor's not here. So welcome to the second act of this game where you're gonna constantly have to keep looking for people, and if you don't know where to go, you're gonna be lost forever. And I think it might be happening to me again right now. I need to find. Wait, this isn't the right way. That's
I shouldn't have done that little break. Now you've forgotten the whole dungeon again.
Yeah, well, you know, they wanted to see the patch. I didn't see the preview. I'm gonna give it the preview, even though it's gonna make me look like an idiot back in the dungeon here. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, exactly. Take one for the stream. Let's see here. I think I'm supposed to not go the item path because I went to the item path. That's not the right path. That's what my notes say. But no, yeah, it's looking really well done. We were making the jokes about Oricana while I was playing. The amount of times I see how foolish over and over on screen there, it's like, oh no, the pain is coming back.
Terrible flashbacks.
Yeah, very terrible flashbacks. Okay, let's see if I could remember where to go, because essentially, gotta keep hanging down south here, I believe. But yes, for those who are chilling to see the preview and whatnot, we're gonna have Cherrim and Jenachuu here, part of Lumina Tales here for the entire portion of this segment. I don't think I've ever seen this room.
I don't think. What is the plant there?
It's a sage.
I don't think I've
It's very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cute for a prison. I say so.
It's cute for a prison.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. It's nice.
Silver linings.
Silver linings.
Yeah.
But yes, we're here with Jenachuu and Cherrim from Lumina Tales, and we're gonna be here for the rest of the session. There's gonna be a giveaway that's gonna be held for the stream. There will be a question for it to gain an entry for it shortly. If you want to know the full details, it's bit.ly/TOMS3 giveaway. TOMS in uppercase, giveaway in lowercase, and essentially the giveaway will include the Tales of Arise Collector's Edition, this game's Collector's Edition, and alongside a couple of other PS3 Collector's Edition, including a Japanese Tales of Exilia PS3. So you'll have your opportunity to gain an entry into that giveaway in a bit, as we've still got some more narrative to go through, as I'm struggling to find where the heck Eleanor is. That's pretty much my own clue. Find Eleanor. Yeah, well, you know, Eleanor is trying to be found everywhere. I think Eleanor was trying to be found by Johnny Carroll one time in his game, but that's a different Eleanor we're talking about. Anywho, let's see if we can push forward here. I think Eleanor is actually right over here.
Find our daughter. Find our daughter.
Let's see if we can reach out to her. Where is Eleanor? Yeah, she must be somewhere up here, I'd like to say. I'd like to say,
making you work for this.
Everybody who I need to find is always gonna make me work for it. It begins. Titania backtracks.
It's a little bit like there's a side quest in Tales of Graces where I think you play hide and seek at Wallbridge.
You actually
Oh no!
The party's playing hide and seek.
Oh no!
Illegal.
They should have the what are the armies there? They should have the Windor army just like block people away. It's like playing tag is prohibited.
Yeah, like it should be in universe illegal to do that. Like that could get people like killed somehow.
Right?
Kill the boredom from spending too much time
or
there.
just being lost and nobody ever finds you because God forbid they ever find anyone in that place.
But it's like also with little kids, and you're like, why are you here?
I can't
military
believe.
base.
Yeah, why are you kids here? I can't believe that's even a what was I looking for? That's even a side quest in that case. That's a little bit much. They knew that was gonna be a big issue. Yeah. So I'm kind of mad I know that now. I'm actually kind of mad I know that. Let's give you a side quest.
I think some of the kids like look like past Tales characters too, so it's kind of cute, but it's still like this was a weird choice. Where are your parents?
I think that might make me dislike kids, I guess, in Tales games. No, no. You know what? You know what the biggest thing is? Playing red light, green light in Tales of Symphonia. That was when I was like, oh, these kids are cheating. These kids cheat, and they make me go all the way back. I have nothing. I can't do anything about it.
Old Tales games went like real hard on their mini games.
Yeah. Love it. We will have cool mini games in Arise.
Oh, you mean please have cool mini games in Arise?
Yeah, I want to have cute games to like hate.
I want
to play them once and be like, that was the cool thing that you put in the game, and then I'll never do it again.
I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that sentence to end that way, but alright. Okay.
I said what we were all thinking. Nobody ever plays that stuff again.
You know what? I do actually kind of like some of the mini games. I love Tales of Eternia because it has a lot of mini games in it, and I also like Destiny PSX because it has like a naval shooting mini game that was like Galaga, but it's just me talking like old school like gaming stuff, arcade stuff. But I understand the people who don't like the mini games. I very much understand.
Okay, I like them, but then I'm like, okay, moving on.
All right.
Yeah, Eternia has like a lot of mini games that I didn't realize. Like when I played through it by myself, I just never really touched them. And then I've been playing through it recently with a friend, and he's been doing them every so often. And he got to like the soccer one. I was like, "What in the world?"
Yeah, Cramble Ball.
This is in the game.
The best.
It's like a fully fleshed out mini game and everything. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
And you can play 2-player too. It's so good. It's like the best.
Yeah, I was not good at it.
It's okay.
So I let him continue on his single player.
Oh, okay.
To get the title or whatever. Like, but hey, it's in there.
Yeah.
So you live by your emotions after.
My favorite Tales mini game was the Carta from Tales of Graces. I used to play with that with my roommate so much.
Yeah, that's a really good one too.
I think.
Yeah, that's like a really good one too, cause like it's cool. Like I don't know, cause like I heard it through the dub and everything. It's kind of cool hearing like the lines said in English, including lines that weren't even localized either. So it's like a neat little tidbit I like to say. So did you play that in Japanese, Cherrim, or was it in English, Magikarta?
I own it in Japanese, but I haven't played it in Japanese yet because all of my DLC is on the English version. So like every time I sit down to think about replaying it, I'm like, but I can't use my cute outfits. One day though.
Yeah, one day. But yeah, like a lot of good mini games throughout the series and whatnot. I like the Hanafuda mini game they have in this game. Like,
I spent oh my god, so many hours. Like I think half of my playtime on my completed file is literally just playing Hanafuda.
Oh my gosh. I always wanted to learn how to play Hanafuda, but it seems like so complicated to my tiny brain.
Then learn it video game style.
No, that is a good idea. Maybe next time I play Berseria, I'll try it.
Let's go.
Yes.
It's so addictive.
It really is. It really is. I didn't even realize it was Hanafuda until after I played the game. I was like, I played like this, I I don't know, 50 Clubhouse games on Switch, and then like they had Hanafuda. I tried to like, wait, isn't this like the Berseria mini game? Which shouldn't be the reaction when I play an old game like Hanafuda. But yeah, like it's really cool that it's basically like a cameo Hanafuda, I'd like to say at the end of the day.
I mean, it was definitely my introduction to the game. Like I'd heard of it before, but I knew nothing about it.
Yeah. It's totally mine too. Oh yeah, this. Oh my gosh, do you see this shiny? Like I can't pick this up. Like this.
Oh, that's mean.
Yeah, I know,
that's
right?
Mean.
Oh.
Why?
I feel like that's a very Turtles thing to do, though.
Yes, it's very much on
stand
brand.
in your way.
Yes. Okay. Well, I guess I'll see if I can do some enhancements here. Actually, you know what? I think I need to upgrade Aizen's bracelet here. It's been too long. Actually. No, we're still good with the base bracelet. The equipment system. How did you both feel about the equipment system? I'm kind of I got used to it, but it's not particularly my cup of tea.
I didn't participate in it very much because it's not button mashing.
Well, there's a little bit, but
I'm trying to remember it watching you go through these menus, because like, at least in this game, it was not something that really stood out to me.
I don't remember that much because, yeah, I didn't really do it that much.
It's like you enhance it in certain ways and it unlocks the bonuses. Is that it?
Yeah. So what your task? The reason why like all these equipment costs too much money is because you're supposed to enhance your previous equipment, like your current equipment.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you enhance them really well, like they end up like outclassing the equipment that you can buy. So pretty much only buying new equipment if you're really, really outclassed, which usually takes about 3 or 4 boss fights or locations, depending on how you look at it. Or essentially if you need to dismantle things to enhance your current equipment, which is still a little bit expensive, but yeah, like it took me a while to pick up on that.
Yeah. I still don't remember it very well, but I always appreciate games, not just Tales, any game where like the equipment you get at the beginning of the game isn't useless. Like you can enhance it to be better and better. And like there's uses for like elemental statuses on them or something like that, where like you don't feel like you're totally missing out by trying to equip something that like makes you immune to fire or something like that. I like a robust system, but sometimes they're a lot of work.
Yeah, it definitely is.
The only time I ever like really do equipment systems is when it's like the whole point of the game, like Rune Factory. Or like stuff like that is where like I really get into crafting, but every other game I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna buy the best thing.
You know what, Cherrim, you bring up a very good point, because I know you do play a lot of FF14, so maybe it sort of like connects with that. I want to say that's why you like that sort of feature.
Me too, but I don't craft in it.
No button matching. I understand. But yeah, you know what? That makes sense. Like for me, I'm kind of like I prefer original equipment, but maybe that's just because I play too many Tales games. Maybe I'm not really willing to budge. But no, I got used to this system eventually. I knew exactly what to do with it. But no, that's a very good perspective to have there, Cherrim, with regards to having your old equipment still be really, really good afterwards.
I think I also like that because I'm the kind of person who like, I've gotten better about it over the years, but I don't like selling things. So like I keep all my like, if I have a wooden sword at the start of the game, you bet I usually have a wooden sword at the end of the game too.
Yeah.
So it's nice to like not feel like I'm just sitting there wasting not guild. Oh my god, that's Final Fantasy. Gold by by not, just selling off all my old stuff.
Yeah. Gil, Gold, Zenny, Bells, they're all the same.
The worst is trying to remember the Ifrit spelling, because Ifrit in Final Fantasy is spelled different from Ifrit in Tales. And I'm always every single time second guess myself, like, oh, which one is this?
Then every game in the series also pronounces it differently.
Yeah.
Ifrit.
Even in this series too, there's like Undine. Like, I
Yep.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that? I remember that. Oh my gosh.
Can we please have one way to pronounce things? That's the best thing about playing them in Japanese is they always are pronounced the same way.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, you know what? I think the big part about it is that, like, Undine. I think they've been sticking with Undine since then. Because, like, Undine was, like, it used to be, like, I want to say Tales of Symphonia thing, but then in Dawn of the New World, when they localized that, they stuck with Undine, but then they started saying things like Teta Ala and Palma Costa. I'm like, oh no. I think that might have pissed off like more of the people who didn't like Dawn too, which is really unfortunate. But you know, what do you both think about Dawn of the New World, like in general? Before I go on my spiel again.
I don't like it as a sequel. As a standalone game, I like it because I really like Emil, and I identify a lot with Emil because I have anxiety. So like, just like his like constantly saying sorry for saying sorry is a thing that I do, and like I really liked him because I connected with him, and I like the ship as well that comes out of the game. But as a sequel, it's not good. As a standalone game, I have fun.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Good game, but terrible sequel.
Yeah, I think that's like a majority of what a lot of us think. It's like, it's fine on its own. It introduced the elements just fine. It's just that it had the unfortunate stigma of it having Tales of Symphonia attached to it. Yeah. If it was called Tales of Dawn of the New World, then it might have gone a little bit better than Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think Tales does better when it has like when its prequels and sequels are distant, like Berseria to Zestiria. Like, I think it's just a lot better when it doesn't try to put the characters that you knew from the first game immediately in your party in the second game, because you're always going to have like more affection for those characters, and it means that they have to do something with the newer characters to make you like or play them. So like with Dawn of the New World, I think what they did was they made it harder to use the cameo characters from the first game because like they couldn't level up.
Locked.
Yeah, so like it wasn't worth it to use them even if you really, really wanted to. Stuff like that. Or like I think in Exilia where Ludger was just so overpowered there was a reason to have him in your party all the time and have him like at the forefront of everything. I think it just does better when it's like Symphonia and Fantasia or Zestiria and Berseria.
Yeah.
Or even like Destiny 2. At least Destiny 2, while the old characters were there, they were there in a very different capacity than any other sequel, where they're just kind of there to guide you a little bit, but they have their own things going on, so they're not in the party really.
Yeah, they're continuing their own lives, but like they're also giving you guidance because Kyle is everyone's child.
Yeah.
You know what? Kyle is the child of the previous cast. Let's be real.
Yeah, no, like they literally call him that in a side thing.
I'm not surprised, but when you put it that way,
it's really endearing. I was like translating it the other day. I was like, oh.
We've got 3 Therions to go. Anything that helps us narrow down our choices.
So speaking more about the sequel thing, I think like the one sequel that kind of did it well, if it was supposed to involve the original characters, unlike Destiny 2, I do want to say is Narikiri Dungeon Cross. The thing about Narikiri Dungeon Cross is that you get your original characters first, right? But throughout the game, it kind of does the Dawn thing where like you visit the other characters and whatnot. But the thing is that as they rotate through the party, you learn more about them, like what happened after the journey. So I think that solicitates itself in the sequel sort of things, because you get to see what happened in to the original cast, while little bits and pieces are being thrown in for the original characters. And then it gets to the point where you learn about everybody, and then you have like a quote-unquote final boss, but then the act afterwards, you focus on the original character. So you have something for like the people who are fans of the first game, and if you want to learn more, then you get to play more of Narikiri Dungeon Cross. If that kind of makes sense.
Sounds like a good way.
Yeah.
Like that. Actually, translating that bit for you made me want to play the game. So when I get back to Japan, that's on the top of my list of games to buy. It's way cheaper to just get it there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. Oh my goodness.
Got so many games while I lived there last. It was amazing. Like, I got Pokemon Silver in the box with the advertisements as it originally came with in the box
Wow.
for $5 at a book off.
Yeah, oh, Book Off is like my favorite.
I am like eagerly awaiting when the borders open and I can go do my new job there.
For real. Like every time I go there, my suitcase coming home is like half of it is just video games.
Yeah, there's so many just like good games that you can get for cheap from obscure places.
Yeah, like I remember looking up Tales of Destiny PS1 in English, and you know it's like $300 or something like that now.
Oh my gosh.
I remember I got my copy for 100 yen, which is like $1.
Even Dial's getting angry.
Incredible.
Man.
It's the best.
Yep.
Even
What are
Kawaii
words I'm
is
looking for?
getting
Like, I was gonna go to Japan last year, but then, well, we already know what happened.
Well,
So,
yeah.
yeah. But so Book Off is the place to go for video game stuff, eh?
It's definitely a good place. I've gotten a lot of I've gotten a few Tales games as well from there. I got my copy of Destiny 2 from Book Off as well.
My pleasure.
Okay.
It's really good. That's one of the places, but I mean, just going to like any store that really says it has like used games and stuff is worth going in because you never know what you're gonna find.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried because I feel like I might spend like 3 hours of like my Japan time in one of these stores, and then let's move on to store number 2.
So much to sift through. I spend
Yeah.
so much time. Like every time that I would visit the city, I'd be like, "All right, Book Off is on the list. Pokemon Center's on the list."
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, I was planning on like a 2 or 3 week stay last year, but unfortunately, it didn't really turn out. But like the thing is, like besides the time, I'm also worried about my wallet. I already have too many games already.
yeah,
But
you for sure need to have a lot of money and a lot of suitcase space.
Yeah.
Roger that.
Yeah, and then
Like
I mean,
that
you can
books
always
just-
like. If you need help getting to anything, like, because there's always going to be, like, there's always cafes and stuff to visit and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I can point you in directions if I am there at that time when you go.
Yeah, my itinerary was pretty much like set for like I want to go to the Kirby Cafe. I want to go to like I want to watch like there's some shows that I want to watch there and whatnot. It's like my friend, like he taught in Japan too, and like he was telling me like I need to set up an itinerary right away. I do want to taste legit sushi though. Like legit sushi is like on my, I don't know. Am I overpraising sushi in Japan or am I underpraising it? Is it really good there or not?
I like it. It's the only place I'll like eat like plain sushi. Like in America, I get like the really like souped up like special rolls and stuff because like our fish just isn't as fresh usually.
Yeah.
And, like depending on where you live, and like so in Japan, I'm like all about that just fresh fish. And it's cheap. Going to one of the conveyor belt sushi places that has it for 100 yen per plate, totally worth it. I love those places. I live on them. They're so yummy and so cheap.
A friend of mine was telling me about how he would buy like the sushi from a 7-Eleven for cheap. It's like, oh my goodness, really? 7-Eleven?
Oh, I miss Kobe.
Konbini life is the only life.
For real, just like coming home every night, just grabbing anything from there, and it's all so good.
I always get my breakfasts there. Whenever I'm staying in a city, I'm like, all right, what's the nearest one? Let's go get some like egg salad sandwiches and stuff for breakfast.
Oh, I miss it all.
Me too. Oh my gosh, please open faster borders. I want to go live my life again.
Well, we'll have to wait to see when the world's ready. So right now here, we're going into like the fishing episode, I like to call it. Fishing episode here is filled with a lot of references to old Tales games again. I love it specifically for that. Right here we just saw Aizen geeking out, as he always does, this time for the Fujibayashi rod. So it's kind of like, well, that's a start. But there's more to it that I... Yeah, there's more to it that I personally particularly like and whatnot. Like, the one reference that happens like at the end here, the climax, I'm like, yeah, this is the best. This is the absolute best.
It's just been a while. I used to go fishing with my brother.
Yeah, so Velvet here is trying to figure out how to fish, and it's going to be another case where we start talking to everybody. I also like this because it's not just a fishing episode, it's also a character development episode for one character specifically, which I am looking forward to seeing come to fruition, because it's like, when I saw him, like, oh wow, the character really grows out of his element over here, so it's nice to see some progression, I like to say.
If I didn't know better, I think she's his sister, not his vessel.
Oh no.
Eleanor certainly got Lafayette
That
down.
line reminds me of the Godzilla movie. Anywho, yeah. So, hearing more of the voices here right now in the English dub, as while we're talking about it, any further impressions besides Velvet, since we've commented about Christina?
Looks hard.
Hey,
Once you get the
Like
hang of it,
Eleanor's.
you'll be able to
I
do
really
it.
like the English
Hey, give
voices.
it a shot.
Yeah, I tend to really like the English voices in any Tales cast.
That's good. That's good. I think the only one that I'm cut. Oh, I forgot about this.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was just...
Babies.
Be careful there. Wouldn't want you
I think the only one that I'm kind of like about, I guess if I were to be really, if I'm really picking, I guess like the Tales of Fantasia GBA dub, but that's
That's that feels a bit unfair.
yeah, like honestly, it was impressive that they were able to get the dub on there in the first place. So
Yeah.
that's why like I can't be mad at it, and it also helped out like a lot of like European fans like play like another Tales of game, since they didn't have any Tales games since Symphonia when it came out.
Easily swapped in and out as fish hooks, are they?
That
I know at
sucks.
Berseria, I remember having basically no impression of Rokuro. Like, I found him extremely boring in Japanese. But, so I was extremely surprised when, like, everyone I knew really, really loved him in English. So I've always wanted to play it in English. And maybe I will sometime, just to see what his voice actor in English does with the character, because I heard that was a big part of why people liked it.
Wow. I was pretty neutral on him. I like him. I like him the most. I really like shipping him with Eleanor because I just like that opposites kind of thing. So I like him in that sense. He's like, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's
when we're talking about the voices and whatnot, Eleanor's is nice, and Eleanor's voice actress is Erica Mendez, who's like a pretty big Tales fan
yeah.
herself too.
I like her.
Yeah.
I think I used to follow her on LiveJournal. And I think we met
Oh
because my name's
wow!
also Erica, and we met in like one of those old friend memes where
Oh.
we said our names. We were like, let's be friends because of this. I don't think we ever really talked, but
As far as I'm concerned.
when I
Wow.
saw she made it big, I was like, good for her.
Aw.
You can't go wrong.
So cool.
And if they're nothing but
I had no
good
idea
teas,
she
they're
RP'd on
wedges,
LiveJournal. That's like an old school Tales fan thing. Like, holy smokes! I saw the things that people were like posting on the Abyssal Chronicles forums back then. And I'm like, wow, this is super hardcore. I didn't do it, but I saw a lot of people were like, oh, there's a Spada here. There's a I don't know. There's definitely a Luke somewhere here or there. I know I've seen Miss Stella. Senno for sure. Yeah, there were a lot of them basically during the time. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I too played around on LJ.
Nothing I want to do more
Yeah,
than
I was never into role playing, but I miss LiveJournal. It was a good place for fandom.
Yeah, like I
And
think
pretty much is like it exists, but it's kind of dying.
I mean, I don't think anyone's really there anymore in a real capacity.
We're fishing no matter what. Wouldn't the competition
I
be
think
better for getting that
people
blood
still
in
use
those
kind of
veins?
LiveJournal a little bit. It's just like it's
You're
still
wrong.
alive,
But we both
surprisingly,
know
but
already
I
how
don't think
this
it's
is.
definitely getting any more use anymore compared to like
You
the
can plan
big
all the
ones.
victory
Like
speeches you
I
like.
guess people blog on Twitter
Fishing is
still
like life.
or Tumblr
Doesn't
or
always go
I don't know too much about blogs, so clearly I'm only pulling up examples for like 8 years ago. So bear with me. Dreamwidth is a big one, or
Yeah, I think I think the role playing community all went to Dreamwidth, but
Yeah, they all went to
the rest
Dreamwidth.
of fandom didn't really follow. It kind of ended up in Tumblr, and then Tumblr banned you know what, and
Yeah.
everything ended up on Twitter, and now it's all just kind of terrible. But you know,
Yeah.
not much you can do about it.
Wow. I won't say where, but I found out that Erica was kind of in our circle, at least in the circle between me and my friends and stuff at some point.
about timing. Oh, okay, got it.
huh?
And
It's
like-
really nice seeing like big fans of things end up like in those things. That must be so exciting. I
yeah.
can't even imagine.
Dare kill it.
I had no idea that she was around there. And one of our members of Lumina is like, yeah, no, she was here. I'm like, wait, what?
Well, what do you know?
It's also a nice little picture there. Oh, look what we fished up here first. What is this attachment? They look like
Why don't you try it on?
Oh, there's a horn. It's the horn.
Asura,
It
yeah.
kind of looks like Asura. Yeah, they're like horns basically. Yeah. So I do like this because like it's also a bit of a callback to like what a lot of players did do. Like I didn't do it personally, but like with the attachment system, like it's a nice little like nod to like what players would generally do. Eleanor is the Tails fan, which is a little bit funny in hindsight. She's the one who's like dressing up Laffy said to have all these attachments
Cute.
on. Yeah.
It's so cute.
Oh, he's adorable.
He's a big war god.
A little big
And he's
warp
doing
god.
such a good job.
I mean, it's just like Luca.
Pretty much. I mean, hammer on the head right there.
They're rather similar.
I have
Yeah.
to catch the Therion.
What was it? Luger was wearing Ruka's outfit too, which is kind of weird. But hey, it works since he transforms into Asura randomly. It's like, holy smokes! All right, let's get the chromatics going.
I love Tales of Innocence. It's Tales game that
He's
very
good
much
time.
enjoy.
I've got something.
Yeah, Innocence is really good too. I particularly like the Innocence R battle system. I didn't play through Innocence DS quite yet, but
Looks like I'm next.
I prefer Innocence DS, personally.
I've heard there are like definitely differences between the two, but yeah.
Single decent catch.
So I see.
Haven't played yet.
I think it's
Ooh,
decent.
I would definitely like recommend to give it a shot at least to be aware of things.
One day.
I played
I
R, but R improves on Innocence's absolutely abysmal dungeon design.
Oh, that's good,
I've
because
heard
yeah,
about
you
that.
are absolutely right. That's just it was
Innocence
so
probably
bad.
has the worst dungeons because they're just really bad.
Officer!
Yeah, so Laffy here has the X-ray glasses on, and also what was the other thing? I think it was the mustache. Yeah, mustache. Yeah, this is very much like a lot of other Tales of fans do. Like even like casual or hard. Well, some hardcores basically. It feels to be very universally shared. I just happen to be the exception, I guess, because I like recording without the default. But that's another story. That's a particular case. But yeah, this is it's a good scene because this is where Laffy set explodes.
Oh, poor baby.
All you know is you're Laffy.
I try not to put too many attachments on like the first time I go through something,
Same.
but
I like
it's
it to
fair
be like,
game on subsequent playthroughs.
yeah, exactly. Like the first playthrough is for me to like immerse myself in the characters and story and like get it like from the most like serious point of view possible. And then the second playthrough is like, now we're all just wearing this crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
My
much.
one mistake was in Exilia where I bought the swimsuit DLC, but it was like at a very unfortunate time in the story when I finally went, well, I'm near the end. I'm sure it's fine to put it all on them.
But what's a pot doing?
Oh no.
I don't want to say because spoilers, but you can probably
Yeah,
guess.
I get it. It's
I
Jude
think-
running away with his flip-flops falling over.
Oh no.
It was a whole thing. It wasn't flip-flops, it was his flippers. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
It was a thing.
Oh my god.
All right, but yeah, I do like how Laffy set calls out Velvet for like constantly proxying her brother to him, because Laffy set is clearly a different person. So it's the point where Laffy set starts to stand up for himself a bit, which I really appreciate personally.
Yeah, that's
I
such a good scene.
absolutely love stories that incorporate that kind of thing. Like, I love seeing characters distance themselves from, like, the person that, like, they're based on in some way, like the replicas in Tales of the Abyss, and, like, anything like that just is interesting to me.
Yeah, and rightfully so, because like honestly, while it was cool that Velvet was able to like give Laffy set the idea to sort of like live on his own, essentially, like there had to be a point where like Laffy set here had to break away from that sort of label that was automatically placed on him by Velvet. So the fact that he's starting to grow into his own is like more dictation of the build up throughout the game, where he's constantly learning about life experiences from other characters up to this point. So it's a really nice build up, essentially, I like to say.
Yeah, he's such a good boy.
Oh, and I love this
And having that, like,
Oh no, sorry. Keep going.
Uh,
Oh, I was just gonna mention that I like the way that it contrasts then with Velvet being stuck on her brother. So like the two of them kind of clash in that way.
Healthy octopus diet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, this is pretty much going to be the point where Velvet starts to learn more and realize things herself too. So, like, it's a nice complementary relationship they both have. I like to say.
Good babies.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, the zombies coming out of that pod was a little bit.
odd animation.
Well, odd, disturbing. I guess it's up to the holder,
Yeah.
but it certainly was amusing or something. That's for sure.
It was something.
It left an impression.
An octopus army.
Yeah,
Horde of
yeah.
undead.
All right.
What the
So
hell
I
is
think
this pot?
Isaac's next geek out here is gonna be like full-on reference I did not expect them to go because they barely referenced this game. So I'm happy that they did. I'm happy that they did. Go off,
Special
Isaac.
about this creepy old pot?
He's gonna geek out here too. Like we usually see him geek out in skits, but not in cutscene.
Listen and behold.
Yeah.
So
This is
cute.
none other
What a
than
cute little
wonder
guy.
jet made by the potter Groon
All right, go off,
during
Eisen.
King Clauden's reign. It was a legendary, once-in-a-millennium masterpiece, but it was lost in the Second War.
Groon!
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
I love Legendia.
I love it too.
Excellent.
This is why I'm all the more happier that they went out their way to do this reference because they don't usually reference Legendia often in these other games. So I'm happy. I'll take what I can get. Like
Yeah, it's like the black sheep.
yeah, like the only other like reference I can think of was like, oh, there's the one in well, I guess Magikarta, but that counts for every game, so that's a universally shared thing. But here is Orisaurin too, the technique of the Orisaurin. So good. So good. But just like Rune's gonna troll us, it's time to fight. Here we go. She's not much of a troll really. She's kind of more playful, but this boss here, I forgot what I did for this fight. Was it Rokuro shenanigans? I think it was Rokuro shenanigans. Rokuro, Aizen, Maglu, Laphicet. I have everybody but that. Oh, I definitely need Aizen for this fight, so get out of here, Velvet. Sorry to say. Well, sorry to say, quote unquote, because the AI doesn't particularly control Velvet well, I want to say. I don't know if you both switched Velvet into AI, but have you seen her?
I think
play?
I did, and then it just like does the thing that saps her life or whatever, and it just basically kills her, is what I remember from it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that'd be absolutely correct. That's pretty much all she does. Stand there. On occasion, she does it right, but at the end of the day, it's like, no. Velvet, why? Nobody plays Velvet like that. I don't think nobody plays conservative Velvet at all. It's always devour, 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 and then an advertisement for Discord. Let's see here. I think we got all the Yort stuff here. Yeah, I think this looks right. Oh, Voidmire is much better for Laphicet. Eleanor, let's give her Ice Edge. I'm going to be playing aggro anyway, so I think I'm using that term correctly, right? Aggro is the one who keeps moving on forward and distracting while the casters cast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a tank, basically.
I see. I only make sure because I don't usually play those games, but I keep hearing it collectively from circles of them in, so I kind of want to make sure I have it correctly here. Okay. Let's see if we could push forward with this Pandora pot. I love it. Like Taliesin, the voice actor for Rokuro, I guess we got the name of it again. Does a great job with not Rokuro, Aizen. Well, Rokuro's did a great job too, but Aizen's is he really embraces the Rokuro character. Really embraces the Aizen character well, that's what I'm trying to say. Alright. It's like, remember not to smash it, so can I slash it? That's even worse! Way to go. Way to go, Aizen. Alright, so this fight in particular is interesting because you're doing it on the Van Eltia, and Van Eltia, honestly, with Berseria, it's a common sort of thing to say where it's the battles happen in spaces that are completely different, unlike Zestiria where it's all the same. Not necessarily. They're still there. It just so happens that the fields that you're in are big enough to accommodate, as opposed to games like Zestiria. Well, every now and then. But basically, like, you could tell that this game is straight up, like, carried over, like, directly from Zestiria, where you see, like, moments like this, I want to say.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, and there's a Zestiria camera moment right here, everybody.
Yep.
Here's the battle. I don't know.
You don't need to see that.
Just enjoy our environments. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Oh my gosh. See, do you see that right there? Like, the camera's still getting a little bit wonky. I'm not even, like, trying to. Like, it gets like that on occasion. So, there is still a chance. Oh my gosh. Like, oh, oh my gosh. I forgot that this battle can get this way sometimes. But yeah, we want to make sure that we essentially keep going with Earth Arts. Actually, using neutral, it resists that. So we got to make sure we get our ground arts in. Unfortunately, the only ones that Rokuro has is Shockwave Slash. So shout outs to Graces, and let's get all Astral up in here. Okay, let's keep on going here. Oh my god, you see that? You see the stupid thing in the? That's totally an Exilia moment right there. Not Exilia, it's Zestiria. Totally a Zestiria moment. Oh my gosh. Okay.
The camera reminds, especially when it got like stuck looking at the ground, it kind of reminds me of when I'm playing older games in first player and I don't have anybody playing with me, because it just zooms right in on me and I'm off in like Narnia casting and like I can't see what I'm casting at. Everyone else is way up front.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're doing fine. I don't need to see it.
This is in which Tales game, or was it Final Fantasy you're talking about?
In Tales, like, I think when I played Eternia by myself, you could just see, like, me casting as Merity way off and, like, the furthest I can be from all the enemies. And then, like, when my spell goes off, it shows the enemies taking the spell, and then it goes right back to me. I can't see what's happening. I don't see any of the enemies on my screen, but I'm sure it's fine.
That's right, that's right.
Good times.
Yeah. I never thought of the perspective of, like, oh, jeez. This boss has also the stupid feature where it's like, that poison venom lizard in the beach, it walks backwards for its, sometimes. This one, it sits down, and then it can paralyze you. So, be mindful of it sitting down, or else you're gonna get paralyzed pretty bad, basically. But otherwise, we're doing the usual, Fantasia strategy here. 3 casters, one attacker, and you're good to go, basically.
That sounds familiar.
Yep. Very familiar. Yeah, you know what? I never really played too many casters myself, personally. Like, I know people who genuinely like that playstyle, though. Like, I understand, I get it. Like, what would you say would be, like, the best caster? Well, besides Julia. What would be the second best caster? What would be the second best caster you played as in this? Oh my gosh, this camera! Why am I getting zesty camera stuff in this? This is really not good. Sorry, as I try to adjust this, feel free to answer.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Alright, we're good. Shoot.
I think I always come back to Graces because I think it is just like the best battle system that Tales has ever done.
Yeah.
But,
Really like Cherrim.
Yeah, like her knives are so good, and then you like do a knife combo right into like an almost instant cast. Like, it's so good. And like Pascal was super interesting with like all of her spells being melee range and all of her like normal attack arts being gun range from way back.
Yeah.
It's extremely interesting.
Cool.
But like generally I think if you don't really like playing casters, I don't recommend it because it's probably not fun to people who, I assume most people come to Tales for like the action-based gameplay, and casting, and especially the early games, is simply not that.
Yeah.
One of the guests previously, Mooktails, he was telling me about controlling Quickie, though, for Merity, and there's some interesting things they could do with Quickie in that game.
Yeah, I think Eternia is pretty cool, because, like, whether you play Merity or Keel, so Merity's whole shtick is, like, you can send Quickie out, and it'll run across the screen and do a little combo, and then while it's doing the combo, you can get your cast off, whereas I think Keel's thing was, he has that typical, you can, like, tap X or whatever to get your spell off faster. So they both have, like, a different little quirk to help you be a caster, which is I think like the first of its kind in the Tales series. Although I
yes.
guess I
really
can't
loved
speak
it.
for Destiny PS1. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I mained Meredy when I was playing, and it's just so much fun because she makes me feel safe because I can keep my distance while Quickie attacks.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Like, you both use the item, I'm guessing, right? That lets you control Quickie, because you need that, I think, or do you not need that?
I think it just happens. You don't need an item for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But maybe I just don't remember.
it's just how she attacks from what I remember.
Yeah, like her autos are just Quickie. Not
Oh,
autos.
okay.
Like her basic combo.
Right. Because I think there is an item eventually that you can pick up where you control Quickie, but, yeah, like, at the very least, it is cool that, like, even without the item, you can get some form of control. Oh, jeez. Why is all this... The Van Neltia's in the way of what I'm trying to look at?
Don't you want to see Aizen's feet?
Not quite.
Like, isn't that the highlight of this fight?
Your priorities in order.
The barrel, the rigging on the ship. They're just making you appreciate, you know, how much love and effort went into modeling this ship for you to fight on. I don't see what the problem is.
Well, my thing is that I'm pretty sure I can appreciate in another way than it interfering the fight that I'm having right now. That's just a little thing. A little
I
easy
think you're just complaining.
thing. You're probably right.
Look at this camera.
Oy vey. I think it doesn't have because, like, Rokuro's only Earth art is... Well, besides the trap one, this one is, like, you have to keep dashing left every single time, and he doesn't have any other Earth
Oh,
moves
yeah,
that
so the
can,
camera just doesn't know how to... Oh.
Yeah,
Fine.
Well,
Fine.
we're fine. Okay, well, look at that. Look at the breaks at the very least. Look at that beautiful zoom in. This game.
Yeah, what is the camera like in Arise for anyone who's played the demo?
It's really good. I'd say it's pretty good.
Okay, good.
yeah, it seems fine. And I think they put, well, it's just a demo, so I'm sure there's also some places where the fighting is a bit more close quarters like this, but, like, it seems like the circle it drops down is, like, a nice wide one, so you never really get stuck on things.
Good.
Yeah, basically. I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm not playing it right away, as I've said previously in the marathon, but basically, I heard good things about it, and I'm looking forward to trying it out.
So excited. Like, I had completely forgotten that it was coming out this month. Like, and so, like, 3 days ago, I was like, wait a minute. Stream I'm gonna be on is a countdown-y kind of stream. And it's coming out soon then! And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to pre-order that. So, I've got it ready.
That's good, that's good. I'm glad the marathon was able to remind you of that.
Yeah, like, I had completely forgotten, and then it all clicked in my head at once.
Yeah.
I tend to have a bad memory, and I forget about games I'm excited for, and then when they're close to releasing, I remember them, and that kind of makes the wait shorter for me. It's great.
Yeah, that's like a life hack.
Yeah, just don't have a good memory.
Just don't
Just
have
forget.
a good memory. Don't keep a calendar. Don't write notes down. You're good to go. Be surprised every step of the way. Don't actually do that for work, though. It's not good.
Well, then you'll lose your job and you'll have more time for Tales.
Yay! More tails!
All works out.
No, everybody, please don't do that. Keep your job. Your lives are important. Your financial
recommend.
stability. Don't recommend.
Fortunately, according to capitalism, we need those jobs.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Alright, so we picked up some Break Soul Part 2s, which I never used for Velvet, but the AI wants to show it off, so let the AI do whatever they want. I don't really care. But basically, Isaac's gonna like geek out again, huh?
Yeah, if there'd have been any,
Oh, I thought
you'd
he was
think
gonna
old
geek out. I
Eisen's
guess we're
Reaper
okay.
curse would've drawn
But yeah, basically, just
that's why all we
we
caught
got
were
extra
weird
capabilities for our
faces
characters,
then.
extra break souls for our characters.
Right.
I kind of like it for like characters like
So all this
Eleanor,
was Eisen's fault, huh?
but nobody else really. I don't think their
how
second
quickly
break
you
souls
used
are
to it.
particularly useful. You want to save those souls. You don't want to keep expending them a lot.
My power didn't end up helping us out at all.
Nope. But I know you're not the type to give up after a little setback.
Wow. Way to be.
Wow.
Wow. Kind
Wow.
of you.
Right, Fee.
Well, there you go.
Huh?
She always starts out so severe, and you're like,
It's
excuse
in
me,
you.
and then she somehow
Put
knows
a
how to
whole
say the
lot
right
of
thing.
thought Put into it.
Yeah.
But
There you go. Velvet owns up to it.
you're you.
You're not Laphicet anymore. You're now Fee. I personally prefer Phil, but that's just me, just to complete it. But Fee works.
It has personality. Thanks.
Of course, if you still feel like giving up.
Yeah. So now, you know, it would have been really cool if they had changed the name, like on the menu. But at this point, they kind of stopped doing the name changing thing, because it used to be like Mog number 2 on the menu, but then after Mog number 2, it became Laphicet, but still kept becoming Laphicet even after this cutscene, which was like a little marathon nitpick. But otherwise, it's pretty much. It's cool. Like, I like this scene because it gives Laphicet like a extra means of development after calling out Velvet.
Yeah.
I remember, at least for the Laphicet name thing, like, even when he's still number 2 or whatever, if you go and you look at his equipment, it all says Laphicet in it. So people were complaining that they got spoiled right away because they, like, the first thing they did was go through the menu, which I know some people do. So that was kind of a shame.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I never thought to look at the menu there, I guess. So, but I understand why people would be ashamed about it or disappointed about it. But like,
Let's head back to Titania.
the cool thing I like about that, like sort of like a gameplay narrative thing, was when you have the name as Mog number 2, he doesn't say anything when he does his spells or anything. So that's more so relative to what Velvet had done in the cutscenes, and it stays that way until after he gets his name Laphicet. So it's kind of cool that they made that a thing when you first get Mog number 2. Sorry, Laphicet.
Yeah, they usually have good attention to detail with those sorts of things. So I was surprised when I realized that they just
X-ray
outright
glasses,
spoil some
and
things.
mustache.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not really like a huge spoiler because we knew from like all of the release stuff that he was Laphicet, like that character. But I guess some people go in super blind.
This gives me a topic to talk about.
Row.
Tales of Zestiria. When it comes to Rose, I felt if you didn't know the promo prior to that game, I think they kept the secret of Rose really well. Like, they did it absolutely well. Like, they kept her like hidden as an NPC. I kind of dug how they pushed forward with it. But the big thing for me that I'm still kind of irritated about, but I get that this kind of stuff does it. The opening spoiled that she armatizes basically. So it's like, if it wasn't there, it would have been like a very well hidden thing. But of course, it's in the promos and everything. So it's kind of like, oh well. Otherwise,
Nothing gets hidden anymore. Like, everything is always out in the open for, like, trailers and everything. Like, trailers show you, like, the whole movie nowadays, and it's like, what was the point then?
I do.
I think, like, the thing is, like, trailers are one thing, but the opening is in the game. Like, it plays right away, and it's like, then we learned that, like,
is when openings change.
sorry, what was
A
that?
lot of Tales openings kind of spoil.
I love
the rest
when
of the game.
openings change. Like, they start out a specific way, and then you reach a certain point in a game, and then the
Yes.
opening changes. Like,
Yes,
Rune
that's
Factory
always good.
5 does that, and it made me very excited.
Monster Hunter 5?
I wish
I won't argue
Tales
that.
did that.
Oh, Rune Factory 5.
Oh, Room Factory 5. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know there's a 5th Monster Hunter, so I expose myself as not a Monster Hunter fan. Sorry, guys, I don't play Monster Hunter or games like that. Anywho, that's really good. I wish Tales games did that. Same opinion as you, Cherrim. I wish Tales games did that. Cause
Yeah, it's always exciting, because then you're like, oh my gosh, I, like, reached, like, a milestone, and I've learned this new thing, and I didn't know it was going to happen, because the opening didn't say so before, but now it does! Whee!
Practicing your dub impression.
yeah.
What?
Better than like, I remember Legendia in particular. It spoils a pretty big part with Chloe and Senel.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you spend the whole game just waiting for it, which is like, it's fine, I guess. You still don't know why or how it happens, but like, that's like the worst one for me.
That makes sense.
I don't think that one is too bad. Question mark. I mean, it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad,
Pretty
but
weird scene. So like, it colored the way I was looking at the characters the whole game because I expected that to come up eventually.
oh, okay, I get it.
So it's not like necessarily a big spoiler per se, but it seemed like one.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even like fake spoilers, because it's still like, if I hear like someone be like, this character's gonna die, haha, just kidding, but like then that like colors how I'm gonna think of them the whole game, because I'm like, what if they weren't lying though? What if that was a real spoiler?
What if they accidentally spoiled and then had to like backtrack and go, oh no, they don't actually die, it's fine. I don't know. I try to, before a game comes out, like I stop watching trailers or looking at any news, like maybe 3 or 4 months before, so that I just go in as blind as possible, which is very hard on the modern internet, but...
Yeah.
I guess like the thing, yeah, it is hard in like the realm of the internet. Honestly, like the only way you could really do is like avoid social media, but you know, your mileage may vary when it comes to using social media in general. So ultimately, all that stuff is up to you. But really, it would be cool if like Tales games would do that sort of like opening thing where like they shifted in between or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if Room Factory did it, then I feel like Tales could follow suit too.
So exciting. Have you played Bravely Default, the first one?
I haven't, no, but I heard good things about it.
Yeah, the subtitle of the game changes halfway through when you get to a certain spoiler, and like that gave me goosebumps. I was so excited by it.
Cool.
Yeah, because letters come out of the subtitle to form other words, and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
That's
I
kind
love
of
that
cool.
sort of thing.
I loved it so much.
Why don't we go to the docks and ask around? Fine.
Uh,
just don't forget our mission.
So we just found this letter here, and it looks like somebody's gonna get invited into Smash. First, Dawn got invited to Smash from Vesperia. Now, whoever's letter this is, they're gonna get invited into Smash. But real thing is, we're gonna have to see who owns this letter, and it turns out to be our little callback to Tales of Vesperia again.
That's good to hear. I can rest easy then.
I'll say this. When I played Zestiria the first time, well, what can I say? I didn't particularly have a interest in Aizen, but then when there was this game was pre-released, everybody was really curious about Aizen, and I kind of see where they're coming from. Maybe because I didn't do the side quests at the time, but I certainly understand what they're doing. Like why people were anticipating, because they want to see moments like this, where Aizen gets invited to Smash Brothers.
You really didn't read
I was really excited to see Aizen, because it was nice to have him
Put this letter in with the package.
fleshed out from what we knew from Zestiria.
Yeah. If we're talking about characters that were fleshed out from Zestiria to this game, I've been gushing about it earlier. I think Zavid was definitely the one that got like the most out of this. Like I
I actually hated him in Zestiria, but I loved him after Berseria.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah. I didn't have too much to say particularly about him. Like I didn't like his sort of like a character and whatnot was just kind of sort of there for me at the end of the day. But once I played this game, like holy smokes, I now suddenly care about Zavid that like I didn't realize that I would have cared about him basically. All right.
Suddenly, I love him.
Aizen, is there
All right, I think it's time for the giveaway question. Just to give people a bit of a run back again for the Tales of Marathon Stream 3 giveaway. Once again, we're giving away a Tales of Arise Collector's Edition, Tales of Berseria This Game Collector's Edition, Tales of Exilia 1 PS3 Collector's Edition, Tales of Symphonia Chronicles Collector's Edition, and the Tales of Exilia Japanese PS3. That's in the prize pack. To know the full details, go to bit.ly/TOMS3 lowercase giveaway for the full details about the giveaway. Follow the link on the stream to answer the question that you're about to see. So, the question is for 40 minutes. That is not it. Jeez, I keep forgetting to change it. List of 3 attachments Laffy said put on during the fishing trip. Your timer starts now. This might be a bit of a difficult one.
Yeah. The prince looks so happy whenever Griffin is
I've
flying
already
free.
forgotten.
He kept grinning, asking
That's
Grocky
okay,
or
that's okay.
Nextlight if he wanted to fly some more.
Grocky?
That's what Kamawana kept calling Griffin.
So we've gone on a bit of tangents here with regards to like finding these Therions. We've been a bit like 0 for 1 so far, because that fishing trip didn't really get us anything outside of lobby set development and orichalcum for Rokuro. Rokuro provided the orichalcum, the hardest metal, which was conveniently talked about before he went on the fishing trip. We provided it to what's his face? He has no face, Kuragane, and essentially now we're going to be pushing forward to the next location. Maybe we'll have some better luck to find a Therion in this next voyage, I'd like to say.
Letting his newfound freedom get the better of him.
As the Ifree's crew here, Benwick is just complaining about the Griffin and how it keeps dropping off huge like animals like
That's
this.
the really big tuna that can swallow a killer whale whole, right?
That almost sounds like a demon to me.
Yep. Huge fish, gills like elephant ears. I saw it myself. From the looks of it, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a demon. It's crazy valuable. On a good day, it can fetch 20 million gold on the market. But there's something ominous about seeing it hovering in the
So basically they're having a lot of struggles with dealing with this Griffin, because it keeps dropping off all these demons on top of the ship of Ifree's crew and whatnot, the Van Eltia. I think it drops over here, like pretty much like the punchline. Here it comes.
Hey, don't drop that on the deck! Are you listening to me?
I love the little chirpy on in his hat.
Yeah, I think that's a Sylph J. I think it's a Sylph J.
That sounds more right. I couldn't remember. Whatever it is, I love it.
That's okay, that's okay. Yeah, so now we gotta find an Earth Pulse point in Midgan, so we're gonna be doing a little bit of a backtrack. That's the one thing about Berseria, there's gonna be a lot of backtracking. There's not gonna be too many new locations, I'd like to say, so do I even remember where to go? Zexen, Port Zexen. Okay, so let's just push on forward here. Some new locations show up here or there, but really I think that's when you can tell like Berseria is definitely a game that they were working on immediately after Zestiria, where they couldn't particularly get like all the new locations down pat or the cutscenes and whatnot, but they pushed with what they got, and what they got was still okay, like based on the timing and when they released it.
Demon running around
Yeah.
in the Aldina Plains to the east of Logris.
Oh, Berseria. Nasty demon running around. So we talked about, like, I don't think we've either played the RM games, right? But a lot of us have played, like, the general, like,
That was only temporary.
original games, Mothership, whichever you prefer. Like, we played, like, generally a lot of those, right? Wow. I was gonna ask, what Tales game would you want to play if you had the time? But I mean, we've already talked about all the original games already that we covered. We're kind of long timers over here. You know, Tales series forum. What's it called? What else is there? Old school references. Let's go with the Tales Brigade. If anybody remembers that.
I
No.
remember that, sort of.
The Tales Brigade was like a promo that like Bamco did, where they're promoting the releases of Vesperia and Dawn, and you had to do like these little animations or videos on YouTube in order to gain entries to win like a Tales of Vesperia special edition or Dawn the New World copy as well. So nice little
I
contest.
do
going on
remember
there.
that now.
Yeah.
No. I just didn't
Yeah,
really
like
give the
those were
blood
some old things for sure.
information
We talk about like a lot of the old things. Like we're really going back like old school Tales of stuff. Like obviously Tales series forum is one, but not much really comes up. I guess like if you think of, like old school Tales things, I suppose.
Go so far as to call them our friends either.
That's just how it goes in the underworld. Things can change at the
But yeah,
drop
we're gonna
of
be
a
pushing
hat.
forward here. The Bloodwings here, they give us a bit of a tip as to where to go. I think the Bloodwings are sort of like, if I recall, they're kind of like a bit of a connection to, what was I'm looking for? They're a bit of a connection to the Scattered
Darkwing?
Bones. The Scattered Bones, I want to say. Well, I guess Bloodwings, Darkwings could sort of work as well, but I don't know why I thought Scattered Bones, because like they kind of reminds me of them a little bit. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm on the wrong course of thinking. But Darkwings, yeah, I guess that's a good parallel too.
But only as long as we hold a knife up
I don't remember this part at all. I was guessing, just based on the name.
Okay, that's fair. How long has it been since you both played Berseria, then, out of curiosity?
Pardon?
Can't argue.
How long has it been since both of you have played Berseria, then?
The Japanese release.
Yeah.
Yep, same here.
2016? Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh
I can't
my.
believe it's been that long, but also with how
Same.
little I'm remembering of this, I'm like, okay, maybe that's right. I think it does sound right.
Okay. So I think Eternia was still fresh on your mind, Cherrim, right?
Yeah, I'm still slowly playing through it.
Okay. And what's the freshest for you then, Jenna?
I guess Tales of Destiny 2 because I work on it every day.
Besides Tales of Destiny 2, come on.
Oh my god. Probably Rebirth, since that's the recent one I've played.
Okay.
I love Rebirth.
Yeah, Rebirth is a really good game. It surprised me specifically, but what called out to you most from that game?
Just the cast is really interesting, and I don't know, the cast really gets me, and I like that it's like one of the few, or really probably the only depiction of, I guess, racism in games where it's like actually like depicted in an interesting way and not just like used as like a plot device. I don't know. It was just a really cool story that I loved, and all of the characters are special.
Yeah, the characters really, really work well in the world of Rebirth.
Yeah.
In a way that
I like-
a lot of Tales characters don't in other games.
They all have just like such varying points of view, and it's just really refreshing to see.
Yeah, they come together in such a cool way.
Yeah, like I definitely agree on that count. Like specifically because of, I'm not saying like Rebirth like cured discrimination or something, but I'm saying like
No.
no. In terms of like the games that dabbled in discrimination here or there, I think Rebirth embraces it most, and you can see, you can see
It's
within
like
the
That wasn't an
characters.
afterthought for Rebirth. It was clearly designed around that theme and
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
they wanted the characters to be affected by it.
Whereas usually it's like an afterthought where they're like, we need to put something that in this world that, like, I don't know, adds some kind of extra depth. Oh, we'll just add a race that everybody hates.
Exactly.
Oh no. Yeah, but
Oh, Japanese RPGs.
Yeah.
wasn't it the story that like Rebirth was the writer of Rebirth like was inspired by like the travel to Yugoslavia or something along those lines? Pretty sure that's what it was.
I have no idea, but that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I hadn't heard that, but
Yeah, I need to revise where I found it, but like because of the travels of the writer, he wanted to the writer wanted to include those experiences in the next Tales game, so that's why there was like a huge emphasis on that, and it's very much like I really like it. Like from playing a lot of Tales games where it's like discrimination is like sprinkled here or there, but not really fully embraced. To play Rebirth was just like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. It's very different from the other Tales games, which is why I like it so much.
Yeah, so it's so good. Like,
That's pretty.
oh, I don't want to say too much spoilers about it. Play Rebirth if you can. Please play Tales of Rebirth.
Yeah.
The right translation guides. I know translation guides may not be like everybody's cup of tea, but I usually have the patience for it, and I loved it all the same. Please play Tales of
I can talk
Rebirth.
to Eleanor about
Yeah.
Please.
So
Or
go
or
and tell me.
or Bamco maybe port it someday. Bamco maybe
please port, more ports.
Put it on my Switch so I can continue to only use my Switch.
Yeah.
It's not something a model just casually
Oh, that's such a mood. Specifically, oh my gosh, you know how many like old wires I still keep around just to hook up like a PS2 or like my Super Nintendo just to play
Yeah.
Tales of Fantasia.
I have all my tiny like DS wires all in the same
Yeah.
place and everything.
Said something so
And because I've moved across the world to Japan and then back to America and then I'm moving back to Japan soon, like I can't pick all of my video game systems up, so I have to just take the most recent ones.
Yep.
Yeah. I definitely want to say like you can find the games on eBay. PSP is region free. If you can find a PSP, that's a different story. Please Please, I was gonna say Nintendo. Please, Bamco, please port these games over.
I'm
Nintendo
pretty sure
2.
most of them are on like the PlayStation Network in Japan. So if you make like a Japanese
that's how I
account
got
there
Rebirth.
and just like buy a card for it, like I think my PS Vita is basically just my Tails machine because I have Destiny 2 and Rebirth, and I think some of the PS1 titles on there and some of the spin-offs.
Flying free, but could it still be a Therion?
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's less expensive than getting the physical copy. That's how I got my Rebirth. I was like, ooh, I can just get it on the PSN.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, speaking of Rebirth, you know, I never made the connection till during this marathon. Laphisa here is basically behaving like our Mao. Like, he has the Force Cube there, basically like the compass. Kind of like a similar design, too. You can kind of see it, right?
My favorite. I love him so much. That's my son.
If this game had like hair dye options, you should give like Laphisa like the red hair dye. I could see that happening, right?
I would just turn him into Mao, my little son.
What was it? I think Rita had Mao's costume in Vesperia too.
What did she?
She? Oh my gosh.
It's kind of interesting, but the characters definitely do not fit together. It's like putting a square block in a circle hole or something.
I mean, that's half of the cameo costumes, isn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes they have thought, and sometimes it's like, why did you give this to them?
Yeah, sometimes it's like, it's very fitting, but most of the time it's either, well, this aesthetically looks pretty good, or it's just like, I understand that the characters match, but this character looks absolutely horrific in this outfit.
Yeah,
you wanna bring this up right over here? I'm gonna do it right now. I did not like this costume.
Oh, hang on, what is it? I don't remember.
I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up.
Oh, dear.
I didn't get any of the DLC for this game, so
Oh no, I forgot!
I don't like it.
Oh no.
I mean, there's probably some kind of like a way you could explain it, but I was like, this is why I should have had Sentinel.
Like, that's one of those ones where I think it fits character-wise, but like visually, please don't ever do that again, Tails. Please.
Yeah.
Senna would have been a much better one, because they're both older brothers, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think that also would have looked terrible, but at least...
Ah, okay.
At least...
His outfit only works on Sentinel.
Yeah, I think that's the case with everyone in Legendia. Like, they look fine on the Legendia characters, but if you put them especially on characters that have, like, realistic proportions, it just looks so strange.
Realistic proportions, that's a good one. I guess technically the only Legendia cameo costume we got was, like, Rita also had Walter's costume, and I thought it looked pretty
which is
cool.
an odd choice. Like, Walter, really?
Why not Norma?
Right? Or, like, anyone really. Walter
is Norma. I want it now.
I love Norma.
Me too. Norma was my fave.
Yeah, Norma's pretty good. I do want to say, like, I think at like, in that case, when it comes to, like, that set, why Rita got Walter, because that set was specifically for, like, villains. Like,
oh, that's right.
Oh.
That's why Estelle got Elrain, and
Elrain!
Yeah.
Wow. He exists.
You know what?
Folks.
If she exists, then the only thing that needs to be reminded, they don't need a cameo art, they need like a cameo quote. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all know what that cameo quote should be. Anywho, but like I think like Walters kind of fits Rita in a gameplay sense because everybody knows her as a Tidal Wave Queen. So Tidal Wave is the strongest like spell in Legendia, one of the strongest, that's for sure. So, but narrative, yeah, there's definitely a bit of a disconnect, I'd like to say. Oh, these fields are so long. Where am I going? I'm going southeast.
Nowhere.
Ooh, that's a bit of a philosophy topic right over there. I've been going somewhere but nowhere all this time. Got it.
Oh, you're getting close to getting the Geo board, right? Because
yes.
This is that really big field that you run across slowly, and then you finally get the Geo board and you can just zoom on your way back.
Yeah, I can't wait to...
I remember that.
Yeah. I can't wait to pick up the board and do everything I can because I'm a Superman. We know what's up. We know what's up. All right, I'm glad you got it, Cherrim. I'm glad you got it. No, you actually got it. Tony Hawk got it. Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
gosh.
I'm
Those are
gonna
good
make the
games.
reach, and I will do it. I will reach for it because I don't know. I like the Tony Hawk series. Anyway, it's not about Tony Hawk. This is about Tales of. Let's see if we can run away as fast as we can here.
It took me a sec because, like, I'm pretty sure there was DLC for the Geo boards, right? And one of them was a Rapig. I'm pretty sure I had people on that the whole game.
No way. No way. There's actually a rap.
Yeah, you can change the Geo board to be different things, and I'm pretty sure one is just like a big inflatable Rapig or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
And so you just like everyone just sits on the Rapig, and it looks
That's
really
adorable.
stupid, and I loved it a lot.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy, but alright. I'll take it, sure. Let's roll around the Speaking of Rapids, and then when they showed up in the Rise, I'm like, holy smokes. Wait.
They're so big. I think one of those might have been a Pigget though. The really big one.
Oh, did I get it mixed up? I might have gotten it mixed up. I only played for a couple of hours, so I wouldn't know.
I don't think they mention it, but I think the little ones were Rapigs and the big ones were Piggets.
Might be. But the thing about those is that they also have like chickens rolling around there, and then they're like laying eggs. Like, oh, okay, this is a Tails game. And I'm like, that's the thing with me. Like when I picked up the Arise Gem, I'm like, is this a Tails game? Like you really caught me on a loop here, because like the first 10 minutes when I booted it up, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what? Everything looks like I'm doing this thing that I'm doing with Velvet right now. That's what I was doing in like Arise when I played the demo. I'm like, oh my gosh, this doesn't feel like a Tails game at all. Like, the graphics really blew me out of the water when I saw it firsthand.
Yeah, I've seen people gushing about the graphics in all of the trailers and stuff, and I remember watching them and being like, I mean, it's alright. But, like, actually going in and seeing, like, the really pretty, like, almost painterly effects on all the shaders and stuff, like, it's a gorgeous game.
I'm excited.
It's so much better when you're playing it yourself.
Yeah, there's just something about it when you look at it in person. It's such a... You need, like, maybe 5 minutes to breathe a little bit, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. It's so good.
Yeah, I noticed that there were a lot of places in the demo where, like, you were definitely supposed to just stop and stare out at the scenery. And I appreciated that they put those in, because a lot of it was so pretty.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Right.
I'm very excited to see it.
Oh, Zavid. Oh, Zavid. Oh, we're gonna get some more backstory with this guy, that's for sure.
He was praying about.
Well, for one thing, he was drinking a bottle of Thorny Forest.
Oh my. The drink you share with your special someone
I
when
wanna
you're going to be married for life.
Darn it,
How
Thorny Forest.
romantic.
Anywho,
That stuff is no
Laffy
small
says
feat.
hair there, little
Can only
floof
hope
there.
I'll get a
Reminds me
chance
of like
to taste
Emil.
it
It's too bad I
someday.
didn't get the Emil cameo costume, but I
He
guess
looks so cute in that.
Aww.
That's why you left him alone.
yeah. Though he ended up getting Richard. It was like, kind of.
He looked very cute as Richard, but him in the thigh-high boots was a weird choice. Like, he looked adorable, don't get me wrong, but
We saw a big
it was very weird.
fly over
Oh boy, oh boy.
Is that what you saw too?
What were the other ones? Velvet was Rooty, which
Perfect.
it looked so good.
Yeah.
Eleanor
We
was
went to look
Natalia,
ourselves. No
It kind of works. Kind of works.
which worked better than I thought it would. Who is Mabizu?
Archie, which was perfect.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and Rokuro was
Ludger, which was,
Okay.
That's what it is.
yeah.
We'll give it another shot.
Did we cover all the characters? Yeah, I think we got them all. Yeah,
Because we already saw Aizen.
and I think we already know how we feel about Isis.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. Oh, I'm very sorry.
What
Million
a
of-
choice! That was.
It was a choice. Well, if it's not Senna, what would you have given him then?
That's a good question.
Aizen?
Perfectly nifty piece of stone just for you.
What would I have given to him?
That's not a geoboard, is it?
Hmm.
Bingo. I dug it out of some
Well, you're.
Or I guess
what-
he also got Hubert, because brother.
20 years ago,
Yeah, exactly. Older brother.
Yeah,
Hubert.
older brother.
Well,
who's
younger
kind of
brother,
nerdy,
but
gushes about things.
yeah.
Wait,
Brother that's nerdy, yeah, basically.
that doesn't exactly
I can't remember, like, I keep forgetting, as supposed to the older brother, Hubert's the
Oh, he
younger
could
brother.
be
Yeah.
T-Tray.
Yeah. Teacher?
Oh yeah, that would be so good.
He has a sister.
Yeah.
I can see that working.
That'd be funny. We need more rebirths, please.
More rebirth love is always a good thing.
Yes.
Well, then I apologize.
Good tree boy.
So we can ride this as long as we have Bienfu with us, right?
CP, you bring up a good point about the Thorny Forest. Yeah, Thorny Forest is definitely a Hearts reference. That one flew over my head, to be honest. I did not make that connection, so that's a good call. Good call.
Oh. It was a Hearts reference?
Yeah, with the poem, with the
yeah.
Lithia, yeah. It's all
have
in the
not
same
played
I
story.
don't remember Hearts.
Oh, you didn't play Hearts? Okay.
Oh, I've played it. I just don't remember it.
Yeah. I remember
I
it.
only
like,
played the
get it
R
now.
version, and I heard it's terrible because I didn't really like it.
No.
But
R makes
I
me very
have
upset. Don't start me on that.
I have the DS versions, and I need to get around to them soon. I'm
DS
so
version is
excited because
one of
I
my
have the CG version, and it's going to be so ugly. I
Yeah,
cannot
the
wait.
best version! The best
have both.
version.
Like, but why would you play the anime one when the CG
No.
one looks so bad? And it's
No.
right there, taunting
No,
you.
the CG
I'm gonna
version
do
is
it.
perfect. The CG version
I'm gonna
is
do it.
perfect.
Wait,
Lithia
Yeah.
and her like
It's
endless
so
forehead.
jarring.
It's gonna happen.
Look, okay, I'll be a little bit like I went on this legit thing about the CG version. I haven't played too many JRPGs. I've been like slowly Tales through and through. So when I see them in CG, I didn't think they were so bad. This is my take that I'm going with right now. So the thing about it, the only one that really particularly irked me a bit, I want to say, is like the Lithia forehead, but everything else, I thought everything else was okay, basically. Yeah, this is where I stand. I'm on this lonely island. I know, and I'm also probably the only one who's gonna be asking, oh, where's the Blu-ray release of the CG opening? But I know they're not gonna do it. They're doing Tempest, but they're not doing the CG one. They have it somewhere. I know they have it somewhere. Bring it out, Bamco.
Release the CG cut.
CG cut. I'm still waiting on Gaul CG, darn it. I'm still waiting on Gaul and CG.
Oh my gosh.
Anywho, my opinions aside.
I love Hearts, like the DS one specifically, very, very dearly. I love it. It's just a very awesome game, and also Hearts are, not only is the localization very poorly done, I'm sorry to them, but the story has like actual changes in it, like not changes that like affect the overall story, but like certain, like the biggest scene that stuck with me in the DS version was completely changed to be something entirely different in the R version, and it's just trash. I was so upset that they not only animated that part, I was like, oh my gosh, what if they animate that part? That would be so sick. And then they ruined it by just completely changing the whole thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so angry right now.
Maybe I shouldn't have brought up the Thorny Forest. Maybe I should have left
It's
it
okay.
alone.
No, it's okay. I have big feelings on Hearts.
I understand.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, the people who played the DS version that I know, they absolutely adored the game. And everyone I know who played the one that came out in Vita for the West, like, everyone was like, it was alright, or they hated it. So it's just,
on all
it seems like a
fronts.
big disservice to the...
Yeah.
I mean, I had to turn off the voices, because I got the R version when it came out here. I had to turn off the voice volume, because the dissonance between what they were saying in Japanese and what was being, like, what I could see in the English text on my screen, I was like, I can't handle this.
Yeah, it's hard to, like, my memory is bad already, as we know, but, like, I can't, like, remember things if it's being said two completely different ways.
Yeah. It was a choice. I mean, like, it was good that we got it, I guess.
I guess. At this point, I kind of.
I'm still impressed that we got it.
Yeah,
I'm impressed
It's
too.
not like there was a lot of Vita. I didn't know very many people who also had a Vita.
Yeah, and they skipped Innocence R for like no
Yeah.
reason, and then they were like, let's do Hearts R, but like let's ruin it.
Well,
It was such an odd choice because even like I can give it makes a lot of sense to punch up the dialogue, especially if it's getting a dub. But then it didn't get a dub. And
Yeah,
they punched it up so much it was such a weird choice.
Yeah.
I want to say it's probably a Baba thing, because I think Baba has he's very partial to Hearts, I think, from what I understand.
Well, Hearts is a great game, but then they like changed from the game perspective, like the actual story, they changed scenes in all of the versions. Like in general, I don't like Hearts R, not just for the localization, but because they actually changed parts of the story to be less impactful than the original part. It's really baffling.
I like the gameplay.
Yeah, I heard the gameplay's fine. I like Hearts' original gameplay because it was so unique, and it was like really cool how it worked, and also getting all of these like little cameo things you can summon. Like I had Annis because she's one of my faves, so I would use her cameo summon very often, and it made me very excited.
Like, I think, like, both games, like, from a gameplay perspective can exist. Like, I like Hearts DS, and I also like Hearts R. Like, they both sort of, like, have their own little quirks that I particularly like. But, yeah, I thought the narrative was just kind of there for me at the end of the day. I like Beryl. Beryl's fun.
It was good.
I love her. She's my fave from Hearts.
Same.
A little artist girl.
Yeah.
The Hearts R battle system is absolutely terrible if you play casters.
No.
So that was my big beef with it.
I see.
I'm sure it was fine. I think it was also a more aerial combat system. And if there's anything I know about Tales, it's that I'm absolutely abysmal at any aerial battle system. I just can't get my head around it.
Hearts is very aerial. Like I actually didn't play Beryl when I played the game on DS. I played as Shing, because his name's not Kor, it's Shing. I played as Shing because it was just like he was the one that matched the battle system the best for me when I played it.
That's fair, that's fair. Yeah, so here up with this dragon right over here, we're gonna like take it down like a dragon on the mountain. Wow, how original, Berseria. How original. Well, I guess technically we could say that this is Asteria, since timeline-wise. Well, in that case, how original is Asteria? How original. But, in any case here. This boss fight, I want to say air quotes, you only gotta take it down to like, bring it down to 7/8 HP and it should be good. It's gonna take really long though, so be in for the long run here, because I think we're kind of like reaching at the point where this dragon here is at like level 74 and has 126,000 HP. So that's why we'll have to take it down to 7/8. Let's see here.
That's the fun part.
Flame
It
Beast.
is, but
Yeah, Shenlong. Reminds me, Street Fighter. Anybody Shenlong? No, just okay. You must defeat the Shenlong to stand a chance. Well, let's see if we can beat up Shenlong right now. Okay. Honestly, this dragon isn't really too bad, though, I want to say. All you gotta do is just, like, essentially just watch out for slow-moving attacks, and you're good to go. Very simple to take down, I like to say. Favorite characters, I'm pretty sure I covered just because like, we're going for, like... go for it.
I'm curious about how you prepare for these streams, because it seems like you've got, like, some notes to help you along before boss fights, so you know who you're supposed to take in and everything. How do you go about getting ready for something like this?
You kind of approach it like a Let's Play. I've done like stupid Let's Plays when I was like younger. Like I'm not talking like Let's Play where it's like, oh, it's all blind. I used to be like taken by used to watch folks that used to research their stuff and know their things, and so I kind of approach it similarly to the 3 games, and I keep the notes on the side here as I keep going forward, basically.
aw, that's cool.
Yeah, I still feel as though, like, I'm gonna go on a tangent here. Like, I know the current norm right now when it comes to, like, streams and all that is, like, all blind most of the time, but I kind of still want to have, like, a bit of a, I know what I'm doing and I want to share with everybody else, because, like, a whole Like, I don't mean like say like I don't want to be like arrogant. Like, oh, I have to know what I'm doing, or else I'm gonna look so bad. No, it's more like I want to like the whole point of like a Let's Play is that you want to showcase the game to other people, and that's sort of like the mentality behind these streams. Is that I want to show as much as the game to the other people, so like see if they want to like play it someday or something along those lines. And that's essentially the gist of that. Like with all the 3 games of the marathon.
Yeah,
Makes a lot of
that.
sense.
I always appreciate the Let's Plays that are like more edited on YouTube. I get into that a lot more than the blind stuff because there's not as much meandering and, you know, especially when a person really knows the game, you just get a better sense for the game and why they like it.
Yeah. Like, particularly for me, because the 3 games were voted for, I didn't really have the choice for, like, the games that I would have wanted. It's more so for the crowds who have been following me throughout the years and whatnot. So, like, I wouldn't have picked Berseria, personally, at the end of the day, for a gameplay perspective, because, like, a lot of the strategies are very, what are words looking for? Like, the same. Very similar, because of how easy Berseria is. But, you know what? It's what the people wanted, so that's why I'm playing it right now. Playing it for.
What would you have picked?
What would I have
picked?
3
games.
My 3 games. I did mention this before, but I will say it again. Basically, the 3 games I would have picked. I would have picked Tales of Grace SF because I haven't played it for a long time. I would have picked Eternia, which made it in, so I was really excited going through that. I had a lot of fun. Even though the final boss did kick my tail, it was still a lot of fun. And for the 3rd game, I would have picked Exilia too. Because like, I haven't played the Exilia 1 for a long time, and Exilia 2 would have been a nice bookend, because Marathon Stream 2 was for the release of Exilia 2, so I thought it would have made sense, but I understand the popularity of this game because of how easily accessible it is, so it's okay if it won. I'm okay. That's why I made the polls. If I didn't make the polls, then I wouldn't have been wanting to have, like, played it in the first place, so that's how it is. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Pretty impressive, though, putting it in the hands of the viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the interactive element. Like, the unfortunate thing is I can't really get the full essence of, like, a traditional Let's Play because, like, there was only one choice in this game that I let the viewers choose. It's like, oh, you could choose, like, which place you want to go to, and then that's pretty much it. Like, this is just me playing from here on forward. But yeah, that's pretty much it, like, the behind-the-scenes stuff. I hope that answered your question there, Cherrim.
Yeah.
So this is good stuff. We're going to learn more about the Malevolence and whatnot. Particularly, we now know that with Malevolence, the Malevolence causes Molochs to become dragons, which is a little bit of an ironic echo with Eisen giving that explanation, but yeah. We learned a bit about Zavid too, because Zavid's Moloch. Zavid, the person with the Moloch that he knows a lot and whatnot, has become a dragon. So now it's like we now have even more backstory for Zavid, which is nice to see. This game does a great job of doing it.
I might be a dragon too. Is having a vessel not enough to prevent a Moloch from transforming?
A vessel can reduce the effect, but not eliminate it. By stripping their Malachim of consciousness, the Abbey exorcists seem to be able to inhibit the
I know, like, we've been talking over it and whatnot, but with regards to hearing the dub a little bit more, how are impressions so far, Cherrim and Jenna?
Like with demons, there's no going back.
I'm enjoying it.
Do they still hold on to some part of who they were?
Yeah, anything calls out to you besides Eleanor? Because I know Eleanor was pointing it out a while back. Like, anything else came up recently, or is it all just more the same, or something along those lines?
Eisen, listen. Whatever business you and Zavid
I think what's standing out to me is I really like the dialogue.
Do what you have to.
Like, it just, it flows really well in English.
Do I make myself clear?
Oh, you know,
translators, you did it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, speaking of which, like, with these releases that come out, like, in English that have dual audio, would you have played it in Japanese and, like, seen the text? Like, would that sort of, like, been like an approach that you'd like to take with some of these games, or do you hear it like English dub anyway, regardless, just to give it a shot?
I like to do the English dub because I like to support it, and I like to, because games have way better English dubs than they used to, like, a decade ago. So it's really fun to hear them, like, well acted out.
Yeah.
and just well done. And it's fun to, like, if I know, I'm not very well versed on voice actors, but when I do hear ones that I know, I get pretty excited about it. I'm like, oh, good for them.
Yeah, I'm about the same. It really depends for me, but especially if I'm going to be playing a game more than once, I find sometimes it's nice to play it in Japanese and then fully in English. And then if I'm still interested, I'll play it again with the Japanese voices and like compare what I'm hearing to what I'm reading to see how they handle certain lines. Like as a translator, I find it just fascinating to see how people handle things, and like sometimes I'll think about how I would have done it and how it compares. Like it's super interesting stuff.
It's fun.
Yeah,
and
like
it's
sorry.
like we said with Hearts R, it like there's a dissonance that can happen if you're hearing a different thing in Japanese to the English. So like that's another thing that gets me to play it in English as well, so that I don't have that dissonance. It's like, at least on the first playthrough, I may play it with Japanese later if I want to do the compare and contrast thing like Cherrim does.
Right. Yeah, like I always like am curious about that, because like for me myself, I kind of gone to the point of acceptance. Like I tried a little bit of Japanese, and didn't particularly stick well with me. I just accept that I'm not really good at learning new languages. So that's why I'm like really curious to hear like for the perspective of those who have like translated their own material, and like with these dual releases, it makes me wonder like what is often like the priority when it's approached. And Cherrim, you bring up a good point. I want to say like to see how localized lines have taken shape from lines you recognize in Japanese. I feel like that's a really cool approach for me to hear about from my perspective.
I always appreciate a really good translation, and if like there's a dissonance when it's something that doesn't match up with what I want, but like it's like a euphoria when you see a really good translated line for like, I don't know that I would have thought of that, but that's such a good approach to take with it.
Yeah,
like I love that kind of thing.
When it's something you wouldn't have thought of, and you're like, oh, wow, this person really like went in on that, and they were really good with it.
Or like if it completely matches up with what you would have done, you're just like, yep, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you say, like in this series, would have been the most best localized line you've ever seen?
Ooh.
Yeah. The problem with me is that I don't like to spend money, so if I have the Japanese version, I rarely get the English version afterward.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think the only one I've played extensively in both English and Japanese would be Exilia.
Did you get a reply to that
I'm trying to think.
What's it say?
I know everything that you've done.
The anticipation.
Repent for your horrendous
Yeah, maybe I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like they're both just like the English was so good with that. I'm trying to think of anything in particular where like it wasn't one where I could compare, because like I had to get them both separate and play fully in Japanese or fully in English.
Forget about it. What's the status of the other stuff?
Okay.
I want to replay it though, so I think I'll be thinking about that as I replay.
Yeah, now I want to do that too.
What are Nordals?
Now I'm really curious to see the results that you both like come up with once you do your revisit someday, because that sounds like a very interesting thing to dive into.
Yeah, translation is an art form, so it's like seeing someone's take on an art piece.
Dolls of the Empyreans.
Yeah.
Do you think they're like that one we saw of Omni?
Yeah, and to add to that then, okay, all right, let's maybe not limit it to Tales then. Like, what would you say would be like the most amazing localized line that you heard from any source of media then?
Oh, you know what? I have an answer. Okay. I think Jade is a lot more interesting in English than he is in Japanese, because he's like they really lean into the sarcasm and snark, which like resonates a lot more with Western audiences. So they tend to do that. Oh, and flavor text. They do that a lot more in the English releases, where like an item will have a silly description, and they really make them kind of sillier or funnier in English, I find, than most of the Japanese ones. And that's something I really like.
Okay.
That's a good answer. I forgot about Jade and how much better he is in English.
Yeah, like he's fine in Japanese. Like I still like him, but he's so much funnier in English, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had a sister.
So like the voice work particularly also would lend into that too, right? Because like
yeah, his voice
acting is
were
really good.
monotonous in Japanese, which works really well for like who he is in Japanese. but like especially when he goes hard on the sarcasm in English, it's so funny.
I'd be happy to help you look for those dolls.
Abyss is definitely a game where I prefer the dub over the
Me too.
Okay, then.
voices.
Thanks.
There's another thing in Abyss that I think is so the most recent time I played, it was the undub patch, I think. So it was like all the text was in English, but the voices were in Japanese. And I was a little bit surprised at how the voice actors for both Luke and Ash, well, same voice actor, of course, and Ion and the other one, which I won't say because spoiler, they didn't really make any effort to hide or like do a different voice for the characters. Whereas I think in English, they did put a bit more effort into differentiating the character voices depending on who they were voicing.
They were the same
Yeah,
actor.
so like the twists they hit so much harder in English because I wasn't actually expecting them because I don't really, pay that much attention when I'm going through the first time. But like in Japanese, maybe part of it was because I was like, I knew everything, but as soon as the not Ion spoke, I was like, okay, well that's obviously Ion.
Yeah.
It's weird and it's a different approach, but I really appreciated the English approach a lot more.
That's a really good perspective. I didn't realize Jade. Well, yeah, because like honestly, it's kind of cool to hear that perspective. Because like to know like with the Ion thing and with like Jade specifically. Oh no, Luke and Ash is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I thought like. I thought it was like perceived that Ash's Japanese VA did a really good job, but it's not as.
Oh, he
good?
did. It's just
Okay.
I prefer the English approach where it's. It was specifically Ion, I think, that stood out the most to me. But I prefer the English take on Luke, I think, over the Japanese one.
Yeah, I really like his English voice and everything.
That's really cool to hear. Like that reminds me of like y'all seen the Yuri Lowenthal thing about Yuri Lowell.
Oh, where
No?
he was like a game off from basically voicing.
Yeah, when he talked about it at a con, where it's like when like okay, so basically the story it's on YouTube. You could hear it from his words himself, but basically it's like he's like I'm not voicing the next Tales game and the next Tales character. In the next Tales game, but a good friend of mine is Troy Baker. But also the voice casting agency was really apologetic. They're saying I'm sorry. It's like, oh, well, what's wrong? It's okay. It's fine. It's because they named the main character Yuri Lowell. And then, it was such a good story that he gave during the con. Like I don't think like nobody expected that really, but it makes me wonder about the naming scheming behind like Vesperia and why they went with the approach to call him Yuri Lowell.
Yeah. I'd heard rumors that it was because they were so impressed with the English dub of Abyss, but like I've never really believed it. I wonder if there's any interviews or something that actually explain where the names came from.
It's pretty hilarious.
But that's great.
Yeah, I wish there was an interview somewhere. Like I might have to do a little bit of digging, but Tales is all about like keeping the secrets a lot. We barely learn a lot of stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is there any way to boost Amalok's powers?
So this is our third visit to Titania. We're 0 for 2. We couldn't find any Therions. This group kinda is not doing too well so far with our mission, but hopefully third time's the charm. Am I right, everybody? Am I right? Well, at the very least, we were able to learn a little bit about Zavid, that's for sure. But other than that side track was nothing but seeing the dragon Shenlong and Zavid and just coming back here again. This is our third time here, everybody. I'm so glad I have better directions than Tales of the Abyss, because I got really lost there, and when I did the marathon 7 years ago for Abyss, it went super overtime, and I was like,
Oh dear.
I started getting...
Pretty confusing.
It's not like we came back empty-handed.
When when you first like come up from the cliff off or whatever, and it's just like go to this town, and I'm like, where am I though? I'm just in the middle of the ocean right now.
Yeah, I think they send you to Sheridan. I remember the very first time I played it, I got lost there for like hours.
You can't, like, they don't help you at all. They're just like, whatever, you'll get it.
When I say prayers, I don't mean outright worship. All I'm talking about are
I need to
earnest thoughts.
revisit
I will
that
be
game
back
now.
in like a minute. My cat is letting me know it is time for his dinner.
Okay.
The famous cat. Yes. So that's the thing about like Abyss. Like I still need to revisit it someday. Like the biggest thing about Abyss for me was like I got like I called it marathon nitpicky, but I got really nitpicky about Abyss when I finished it for the marathon, and I never touched it since. And I got really slogged down by the third act because it felt like the second act over again, except for the final part. It's like, why am I seeing all these people again and everything? But I don't know. I feel like I definitely deserve to give it one more playthrough, even though I had some bitter feelings at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's quite a slog in that game at certain parts, especially like when you do all the revisiting constantly to like work on peace treaties and all this other crap. And it's like, come on, I don't want to have to run between places all the time. But like Abyss was my first Tales game, and it was like honestly one of my first like real JRPGs, because I hadn't really played Final Fantasy before that, and I hadn't played any other Tales games, and like Pokemon was like the JRPG I'd played. So like it was like such a different experience from what I was used to that it really blew me out of the water. I can only think on it fondly at this point because of how much it affected me.
Yeah, no, I hear ya. Like, a lot of those first games, they're very much on the same of, like, oh, it's my first game, so it gets a first game bias points. But to be honest, it's a real thing. Like,
Yeah.
So I definitely understand what you're talking about with the Abyss there.
Yeah.
I am back, and I find my first game was Symphonia. I can't play it ever again.
Oh,
The
no.
most recent time I played it, I was like, I think if I ever play this again, I will hate it.
Oh, no. What?
It was just a little bit too dated, I think.
I'd say it's highly
What is this
Oh.
ominous light that is engulfing us?
Then we should make
That threatens to engulf us.
No. You gotta do with the delivery.
We got into last
What is this ominous light that threatens to engulf us?
Oh my god.
things in Helleveen.
Oh, Rigo, always a poet to the very end. I swear, that's his hobby. Like, he writes poetry on the side. He just never reveals it to the party.
That like just like one of those like super literally translated lines. I've never played Symphony in Japanese, but it sounds like one of those lines where they just literally translated it.
Yeah, it definitely does.
smuggling in relief supplies for our own.
Tales of Symphonia. Hey,
That's what'll get us in.
I don't want to go back to it for a different reason.
It's a plan.
Only because, like, I feel like I already know the narrative already too much. I played the game way too many times. I would go back to the PS3 version because there's different stuff. But other than that, I keep playing the GameCube version too much. I don't want to go through that sewer dungeon again. I don't want to go through it again. I'm done.
Yeah, it was mostly the dungeons. It was like the dungeons and all of the battles within them. It took me out the last time I played it, which would have been when the PS3 version came out. And I don't think I could ever do it again.
Yeah, there's a lot of puzzles in that game
What's
that
wrong, Kamoana?
it's hard. It's hard.
She said she had a dream about her
Like,
mom.
I'm good at the puzzle ones.
Like, I guess I come from the perspective is like I don't particularly mind the puzzles in like Tales of games, like when they go like really deep into that. But I guess that's sort of like my experiences and whatnot. But the only thing where I'm kind of like the sewer dungeon where you got to keep pushing a block slowly and slowly and slowly. And after the first one, oh, you're done 1 out of 5 more. Now go back again and go slowly. And I'm like, I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Symphonia kind of felt like, especially going back to it as an adult, it was like it didn't really feel like it was respecting my time.
Yeah.
In that, like, it just had me repeating a lot of things that I could have done really quickly, but for whatever contrived reason, it has to be really slow. And then just, I don't know. I will remember it fondly, but I will never play it again.
at the same time, we do have to remember that there is a target audience for these games still, so I don't think they're going to respect our time anytime soon, that's for sure.
I mean, like, that's fine. I respect them, and I respect that I am not the target audience usually.
Yeah. And, like, I am not the teen I was when I first got into Symphonia, and
Yeah.
that's understandable.
I don't have unlimited time after school to play games and ignore homework.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
She managed to cry herself to sleep.
All right, I think we talked over like the scene where like people particularly didn't like Kamoana, where she was crying a lot. I'm okay with it. Again, if you've seen kids, they throw tantrums like that a lot. Like sad tantrums, angry tantrums. It's the same sort of behavior that you see. So I understand people who may not like it. It's certainly.
I am always completely fine with characters that like cry a lot and get upset a lot because like it's realistic. They're gonna cry. People are gonna be upset in these situations. The actual JRPG like main characters are the unrealistic ones who are totally fine with all this shit.
That's true.
Yeah, like that's like okay, very unpopular opinion, but Hope is my favorite character in Final Fantasy 13 because I feel like he's a realistically written teen who's just having a very bad time. Other people are like, he's whiny, and I'm like, no, he's upset because his whole life got stolen from him.
I do hope Kamoana isn't crying.
That just came on
I'd
Game
be
Pass
pretty
recently.
pissed too. Did?
Yeah, FF13 it came on Game Pass recently. I might give it a shot.
It's a good
love
game.
it.
Don't let other people tell you otherwise.
Yeah, I will die for Final Fantasy 13.
Even if it like it's tutorial up until chapter like 11 of 13, when it finally goes, okay, you can have the whole battle system now. And you're like, well, thanks.
That's the one thing that is
That's
not
like my
great.
one complaint with it.
Yeah.
What could be up there that's worth all that attention?
Me maining Hope when I'm finally able to choose who I want to main, but the person, if the person you're controlling dies, the whole battle ends. So I had to grind for hours so he could have enough HP to survive anything. Was worth it.
Sorry, I come from a walk of life where I haven't played through a single Final Fantasy just yet, but I'll get there eventually. But I kind of see where you guys are coming from.
Worth it. I love them.
So right now we're going to be running into a boss, which I keep accidentally running into this group. No matter how many times I practice, they're just right there at the beginning. All right, let's learn about the Lord of Actually, no, I think it's unskippable. Never mind. That's why I marked it. Okay, we're good. This is where we learn about the title of the Calamity. And I think it's like the Lord of Calamity. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just said that. So, this is where we get the. I can't say anything about Zesty the Cross just yet, because Jenna, you haven't watched it.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, I've seen all of the spoilers. I just don't remember any of them.
I still choose to dance around just for respect, but
Okay.
yeah, the Lord of Calamity. It looks like it's gonna become a title as we keep on going through this game. That's for sure. But I forgot what was the translation of Lord of Calamity in Japanese? Like the original text, if you both recall. I know it's been 5 years, but
I'm not sure that I do.
So many years.
fair enough.
What was it? Because I saw this word all the time, and now it's like
I know. Like I would recognize it, seeing it, and be like, yeah, that's definitely it.
You're right. Sorry.
Yeah, I hear ya. I remember like oh jeez, what was
Saika no Kenshu.
Saika
Yeah.
no Tensho? Okay.
What's going on here?
Agreed.
Oh, we got it right over there in the chat too. Thank you. Yeah, Saika no Den. Okay. That's kind of a like what? Would you say the Lord of Calamity is a good localization for that, or would that have been like a different direction you prefer?
You're not gonna look into
I think
this
it's
Calamity
fine.
chick.
Yeah.
She sounds like a real terror.
It would
Only
be
thing
nice
I-
if it didn't have to be gendered, but you know,
Yeah.
English is gonna English.
Yeah.
English is always gendered. The only thing I remember not liking about the English version of Berseria and I think Berseria is that is the what do they call the impurity in English?
Oh,
Malevolence?
Malevolence. I don't like
Yeah.
that because it implies that you have to be like specifically evil to be
Yeah,
under
that was-
control, which is not the thing.
I agree.
Okay.
Excuse me.
How would you approach it then if it weren't for malevolence?
Solicit your honest opinion about how this town is being run.
Oh, I didn't
I
realize.
mean, impurity is already a better
Yes.
translation, I guess. But I mean, I would need more time to think about it if I would want to have something else that accurately represents it. Because the thing about it is that you're like, you don't have to be like evil, like malevolence. Like that's like a word that highly connotates whatever evilness, and like the actual concept is more aligned with just like it's not evil. It's it's so hard to explain too.
Like corruption or something, maybe?
Corruption is better.
Ooh. Corruption might be a good... Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, because
Sorry,
like
go
it
on.
still has that sort of,
Are you a friend of hers?
wow, what was I gonna say? It still has more of like a severe connotation, where it sounds more dramatic, but it also implies that you're not like the one doing it. It can happen to you.
Yeah, you're like, you get lost to it rather than just becoming evil.
You know what? That's a really good point, because I remember my first playthrough of Berseria, I feel like I was a little bit hampered by trying to understand malevolence. So, like, in my second playthrough of this game, third playthrough of Berseria this year, in preparation for this, I was like, okay, I have a better understanding for it. And when you bring up the perspective of, like, malevolence, having that connotation, implied evilness, it's like, yeah, that kind of hampered it a bit in terms of understanding. Like, I still got it, like, for me personally, but I can see why people would sort of be, like, a little bit more on the other side of things when it comes to getting the proper connotation you need.
Yeah, I feel like that word choice puts too much on emphasis on being evil when like anyone can really be affected by it, and it like you don't have to like doing a terrible thing to be affected by it.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. It's a very like nuanced affliction.
Yeah, like I kind of see what you mean. That's a good way of putting it, though. I kind of got it. Yeah. So I forgot what question that led into that, though. But that was a pretty good discussion. But yeah. So right now, what we're doing right now, we're learning about this particular issue that's going on in Hellaween since we left it. Once again, I like the things. I don't think this one we got from Small Talk from the Abbey folks. We actually overheard it while hearing about the Lord of Calamity. But there's some kind of issue going on here in Hellaween, and we're learning about something about how, like, there was I want to say, like, there was some kind of other priest who lost her, like, some kind of we're gonna learn more about it, basically. Like, essentially, let's see if we can keep diving into the mystery a bit more about what's going on in Hellaween. Something about a prison camp.
But these are just nasty rumors I heard.
Malevolence just means intense ill will or hatred, which isn't inherently evil. Okay, well, there's some people who might have found malevolence differently. I'm just reading the chat here right now.
I only have our Discord screen up, so I don't know what's the chat saying.
Oh, I thought I posted the stream link in the...
No, it's fine. It's just easier for me to watch on Discord.
Fair enough. But, yeah, J Parker is talking about, malevolence just means intense ill will or hatred, which isn't inherently evil. So, it looks like there's some people could pick it up from the term malevolence.
Yeah, I think if, like, you, like, understand malevolence as that, then it works. But, I don't know, I think a lot, like, the general public hears malevolence and thinks bad guy. At least in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, it might not necessarily have that connotation, but the fact that it might have that connotation at all means it's one of those localization terms you probably want to think on a little bit more, or I would have if I were in charge. But I'm sure they put a lot of thought into it, too.
Yeah, we never know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
there's anything worse than demons.
So now we're learning about here about exactly what's going on,
Diana was a
particularly
girl
something with
turned demon
the
who was killed by an exorcist.
mother with the
And her
daughter,
mother
and there was like,
hated the
yeah.
Abbey
All right,
for
thank
it.
you, Velvet. Please explain.
And the Abbey is using the Faldee's ruins up north as a prison camp.
It's a lot like what happened to Kamawana, isn't it?
It's natural for a mother to love her own child. To make that a crime.
What an
What
interesting
I'm
parallel.
curious about is the use of the word receptive to describe Medusa.
So long as there is one receptive to divine power, Therions shall be forever reborn. If our
I am not particularly looking forward to the next boss fight. I think it's going to be a little bit rough, but the problem is going to be similar to what we encountered with the Kamawana, where you're going to constantly keep casting spells, time spell absorber at the right time. There's also a particular gimmick with this boss fight where it's going to inflict status ailments and bring back mooks, resummoning mooks. It's very, very...
But we won't find out.
Yeah, CPS, I what you said. I love how her name isn't subtle at all. Yeah, Medusa. I wonder what she's related to. I wonder what kind of creature she's gonna like become. It's gotta be an elephant. It's gotta be those elephants from that Zestiria dungeon a while back.
Who could know?
Well, I guess we're about to find out. All right. Feigl Ice Cap. Okay, so I did talk about like your favorite characters and whatnot, but what would be the most like if we seen the scene or not seen the scene? Spoilers in mind of what we haven't seen quite yet at this point in the game. But what would you say was the most memorable moment for you at Berseria? As we're about to wind down this session, actually.
The plot twist.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
Like that whole portion of like the reveal. That stuck with me.
Real good. Specifically for me, the reaching out scene.
Yes.
That's a good scene. Yeah, that one.
Like when I think of Berseria and what made me feel things, it's definitely that.
Yeah. It was fantastic. I think I cried at that part.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I 100% agree with both of your choices. I did not expect the twist, and also that moment was like, yeah, you got this, buddy, you got this, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing either of those moments today. It'll be happening tomorrow when we get there, but yeah, very good choices.
Hard not to be affected by that.
Yeah.
They're probably here to protect the Therion.
All right. So also, we're listening more to the ruins of Berseria. I know Sakuraba gets a lot of flack, but I think like his contributions in Zestiria and Berseria when it comes to these ruins themes don't really get too much attention, especially when what are these things that come out of nowhere? I didn't see that. Did anybody see that? I didn't see that. Stupid. Anywho, to continue with my thought, like I think the ruins themes in this game often and in Zestiria are often overlooked, particularly because of the Sakuraba thing. I don't know why that's there, but I get it. But I sort of view Sakuraba differently. But yeah, I think these ruins themes are pretty good in Berseria.
I think Sakuraba's work has been better lately. Like, I remember reading in an interview once that he's told to sort of like do samey music for Tales most of the time, which is why, like, especially in like the middle Tales, like not the early ones, not the later ones, they all kind of sound the same. Like, I can't really pick out a song. Like, if you give me a song, I probably can't tell you what game it's from if it's from like that middle segment. But like, I think since maybe Exilia or Exilia 2, he's been allowed to like play around a bit, and like a lot of his stuff, not Tales, is like phenomenal work. And I think you see a little bit more of that in more like in the later Tales games. Like, I really like the stuff that was on Zestiria's soundtrack from him.
Yeah, I love Zestiria's soundtrack, like in general.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. I guess like if we're drawing a parallel between this game and Zestiria, I like how Soray's theme is like reflected and evolves throughout the battles, whereas with the Velvet, her theme evolves throughout the cutscene. So it's a interesting little pick up. I don't know if it's a Tetra or not, but I thought it was kind of cool.
That's my son.
Yeah, so like I think like I want to like the Water Trial like song, but then it brings back memories, bad memories. So I don't. Unfortunately, the song is attached to the dungeon, so that's not the song's fault. But
I mean, I think that's the mark of a good soundtrack. If you can actually visualize where you were and what you were doing when you were listening to the music.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes I'll really like a song from a game, but when I go back to replay the game, I'm like, oh, this is where it plays.
Yeah.
But like, especially with Berseria, I felt like a lot of the songs like really evoke the dungeon they were in, especially the Goshina ones.
Also, I miraculously had zero trouble with the water dungeon. Oh, sorry about that.
I'm not sorry about that. That means you got good at that part. You just said, hold up. You just said you were good at the puzzle, but you just did the water temple. Holy smokes!
I don't know
More
why.
power to
I
you.
don't know why. No, this is so confusing for me because, like, legitimately, I had zero problem with it. And then when the game came out in English, everyone hated the water dungeon. I'm like, wait, why? What was wrong with it? I was like legitimately confused, and I don't know why this happened this way.
Me thinks you're a puzzle shark. You're probably really good at these puzzles.
No. Like, I have terrible memory, and that makes it so every puzzle is always hard.
And yet you did the water dungeon with flying colors.
That's still the most confusing thing in the world to me, and I don't know how it happened, and I was so baffled when everyone hated the water dungeon. I was like, really? I loved that one.
I mean, statistically, I'm sure some people must be out there who like just go through everything no problem, like by accident.
I think, yeah, it was probably just an accident.
That.
Because, like, I normally always, like, I dread water dungeons, like, in Zelda games and everything. Like, I dread them. And then, like, that one... What?
They have a reputation for a reason, I feel.
They do. And then, for some reason, this one time, it worked out well for me, and I was just confused.
Oh, that's an amazing story, though. There's another comrade over here, Mooktails, who was one of the guests for the marathon. Also, like the water dungeon. I think I had the exact same reaction when I heard it from him too. So,
it's a fun dungeon somehow. I also just like finding like the story throughout the dungeon. I love when stories are presented that way. So like that whole thing was just like, ooh, I'm uncovering things and it's getting really messed up.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted a little bit because I realized there's something that's coming up that is gonna bother the heck out of me. This battle is gonna be really, really bad. The reason why this battle is gonna be really, really bad is that boss fights are fine. Mooks, regular encounters, they're not fine. Particularly ones that cast spells very quickly and outnumber you a lot. And this is a mandatory one. So, be mindful of this. If there's gonna be a game over or two, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
Don't blame you.
Okay. Because you're gonna see...
enemies suck.
Yeah. Spells with enemies really suck. All this time I keep making fun of Abby co-workers. It's gonna bite me in the butt right over here. Oh yeah, it's so cute how they talk to each other as if they're talking like co-workers. Like, oh no, now they're out for revenge. They want me gone. It begins. It begins. I'm not looking forward to this. This is gonna be a very bad fight. Oh no. I'm more worried about this than the boss fight of this dungeon. I've seen this scene so many times. Okay.
I believe in you.
Thank you. Alright. So, we got a lot of spellcasters here, and these two sword praetors, they can combo and synergize with each other. And those are something from Tales of Symphonia. Like, what is going on here? Like, you could be even doing link darts. I don't even know what they're doing, but be mindful of them. Make sure you keep your eyes open, and essentially, use Magalu's Breaksoul as much as you can, because if not, you're gonna be screwed. That's all there is to it. Okay, let's see how we can do this here.
Panic in your voice is both clear and hilarious.
Story of my life. Story of my life. Alright. See if we can, like, push around over here. Keep bringing out shooting stars with Magalu. It's going to be a good start for everything. But then you're going to watch the rest of the party members die. There's not much to it. Like, you gotta wait until you get rid of maybe 2 or 3 of them. It's pretty much the start of how this goes.
Just Aizen on the floor, off in the distance. He's fine. He's sleeping.
Anybody see that? See all those combos right there? That's like a 10-hit combo already. The worst part is that, like, I'm so under leveled because, like, I'm not avoiding encounters. I mean, I am avoiding encounters, so that's why it's going to be a very particular bout. You know what? I feel like I probably will use Velvet after this, because that's pretty much what I'm thinking of doing. Okay, let's go. Go with the Lightning Blast. Oh, we're out of soul already for this. This is really bad. Okay, this is perfect. Let's go. Oh, we didn't absorb the spell in time. Oh, look, there's a big spell to absorb. Too bad we don't have any soul for this.
Oh, no.
It begins, everybody. It begins. This fight.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
This fight is the one that I was scared of. I don't mind if this is my first game over. I don't care. I'll own up to it. It's my first game over. Y'all been waiting for a game over? Here you go. Here it is. This is the fight. Okay. I mean, I'll do it a second try with Magulu, but if it doesn't turn out too well, then I'm going to use Velvet. And we'll see how bad that's going to turn out. Anyway, round 2. Look at these guys. They should all be the final boss of this game. Much harder than the final boss, that's for sure. I'm saying that right now from my own experience. I know people generally don't like the final boss of this game. I think it's okay. This is much more scary for me.
I think my least favorite final boss is maybe Zesteria's.
Oh, yeah.
It's very frustrating for me because I just didn't know what I was doing wrong. I was like, what am I doing wrong here? Why can't I do it fast enough?
I think that one I did by accident. Like, and I was very surprised when people were like, "You've beaten this game, right? You beat it when it came out in Japan? Like, how do you do the final boss?" I'd be like, "I don't know, you just beat it." I still don't know if there's like a trick to it. Cause
I was like about to cry. I was so frustrated when I did it. That's your water dungeon then.
Yeah, that's my water dungeon of Zestiria.
Apologize, I would like to respond to what you're all saying right now, but this is going to be an issue.
It's okay.
You can focus.
Alright.
Your thing, buddy.
Okay, let's see here. We're not getting the spell out for Maglu either. Oh, look at these combos. Look at the beautiful synergy. Lovely. Lovely. These enemies, they know what they're doing. Okay, I'm gonna... Oh, why am I reloading? I'm gonna use Velvet for this. We're gonna bring up the Velvet card. Here comes Broken Power. Let's go. We didn't reach 60 seconds for the BG to even kick in. Velvet, Velvet, Velvet. Okay. Let's change some of this stuff here. We need all fire arts. Bring me all the fire arts. Every single one of them. Let's go. Give me Searing Edge. Give me Searing Edge again. Then give me Slag Assault. And finally, Soaring Dragon. I think we should be good. Wait, that's not even Soaring Dragon. Soaring Dragon, and then we should be good. Switch out Soaring Dragon for Slag Assault. Then we should be really good. Okay, let's go. Oh my gosh, look how much damage I already took. Okay, I need some stuns actually. Get rid of these. Okay, I actually need something to help me out here. Soul bottles. I don't care. Let's go. This is the boss fight. Okay, now let's get some fire arts in. Oh, I can't wait. Hold up. Where's my thing? Here we go. Searing Edge and another Searing Edge. Okay. Which one can I destroy first? I guess I should destroy this one. Okay, let's go. Devour. Discord, or whatever this is. Devour. No shame for this one, that's for sure. Full Velvet button matching, here we go. Bleeded to Mysticart. Where are we at? Okay, this is almost gone, let's go. Did I miss? Oh, darn it. I did an AI Velvet thing. Hold up. Where are we at? Okay, you're right over here. Let's go. Oh, I might have screwed up my soul bottles. Uh-oh, this might be really bad. Oh, there I go. Okay. You know what? I'm surprised the rest of my party is alive. So, kudos to them for staying alive for this long. Oh. Jeez.
Oh no, you spoke too soon.
Yup. You know what? That is a gimmick of mine, apparently, and I don't want it to be my gimmick, but I call things a little bit too soon. I count my chickens before they hatch. Whatever other thing you want to say about it. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold up. I have no shame using Velvet for this part. I have no shame, because this is just ridiculous. Okay, let's take this out. Keep it going. Devour. Keep mashing the triangle and you're good. You're good. And devour again. Rinse and repeat. It's like I'm playing a Mario Party minigame right over here. Just keep mashing that A button and make sure that you win the minigame. Is that too harsh? I apologize if that's too harsh, but that's currently what I'm doing right now because I don't want to deal with this fight at all.
It's a valid strategy. I approve. It's probably how I got through it.
Oh, I just realized you did mention button mashing before. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Oh, jeez. Okay, I need soul. I need soul. I need soul badly. Life bottle, let's give it to Rokuro. Why not? I'll take the kill. That's fine. That's fine. No, that's okay, because that means I get to generate soul that I can pick up when I get revived again. Because this is the lengths that I'm going to restore my soul. As long as Rokuro doesn't pick them up. I can pick that one up as long as Rokuro doesn't get it. Let's avoid these spells first. Okay. Where are we at? This one's next to kill. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Did I miss? Oh no, we're good, we're good. Discord.
Hello.
Hello?
Discord says hi.
Oh, okay. Hey, you know, it's not my fault Velvet advertises Discord with their break soul. Where are we at? Where are we at? I need souls. I need souls. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Look at these people. They know sword rain too. What the heck? Fight's insane. Alright, let's keep on matching everybody. Devour, devour, mash, mash, mash. Look at that armor just like sneaking in right behind me. Okay, I need to pick up the soul before my break soul ends. Devour. Yeah, look at all these stuns now. Let's go, let's go. Alright, what are we missing here? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's still 4 of them!
Gosh, there's like every time it feels like there's more.
Yeah, yep. Okay, this is actually really bad. I need to revive somebody while I'm in my next break soul. Cause if I get KO'd, this would all be for naught. Okay, we need Fee alive because he's able to keep himself alive the most.
Got this, little Fee.
You got this, little buddy. Okay, I need to give. Hold up. I'll take the loss. That's fine because I need Fee to be alive so that he can use a. Okay.
Silence.
Okay. This is the fight, huh? This is the fight. This is the fight that everybody's waiting for. This entire marathon. Oh, Berseria is so easy. Yeah, except for this one part. When this is a big example about enemies casting really fast that you can't even like capitalize with Magalu's break soul unless you're really lucky. Because her spells that come out are RNG. That's the gist of it.
Wild.
That's the gist of it. What do I need for this fight? This fight is the purest example of like spell casting ridiculousness, and it doesn't have like all 3 of the enemies there. They're like, they're playing Super Fantasia style, whereas like one melee user gets like 1 spell cast, 1 backliner as well. This is what was Bamco thinking with this fight? It doesn't have that like super low leveled as well, because that's how the approach of this marathon is.
So sad.
This might be the next 20 minutes. I apologize, everybody, but here we go. Here we go. At the very least, let's see if we can take down the Power Link folks. I think the Power Link folks might be a bit more of a priority for me, so let's see if we can start taking them down right now. Especially because they're the ones who cast the most spells. Let's get a Mystic Guard in. Yeah. Lethal Pain. Do it again. Because this is all Velvet knows how to do, at least if you're playing as her. Try again. Rinse and repeat. Keep going. Dishwasher at a low... Oh, freaking A. Come on. Life
I don't
bottle.
remember this fight. I feel like I should remember this.
Yeah, this seems like the kind of thing that I would have like thought about for weeks.
Yeah.
But maybe I just like put it out of my memory. It was so bad.
Possible.
Did you play in normal? I'm playing in hard, that's why. And I'm kind of low leveled. So.
Yeah, I probably played normal.
Played in normal mode. Sometimes turning it on easy if I really didn't want to try.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Like I might start out on harder modes, but like if I got a fight like this, I'd be like, you know what, I'm putting it on easy and I'm continuing on.
No, yeah, I understand. Like, this fight on hard though is a different story, especially if you're not grinding like me. Like, this is where everything goes up. Like, I don't mind boss fights if I'm not grinding, but these mook fights is a different story altogether. But I think we might be doing better now, basically. I think it was better to target the Power Link folks first. I remember having a hard time here on King You Already Have Evil. I never played in Evil yet, but I don't know if I want to for the marathon. That is, I could probably do it on my own time, but definitely not marathon. Okay, keep on going. Mash, 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 mash. All right, I think we might be a little bit better now. Thank you, Velvet. Peak Velvet gameplay right here. Hey, you can like play against Velvet all you want. I'm just saying basically what it looks like in general. Oh no. How are we doing right now? Let's do target that one. And I missed twice with my. Use a soul bottle for this. I will use a soul bottle for this fight. I think we did address like favorite characters to play as. Like I think one of you mentioned Eleanor to play as, or was it
Berseria?
Yeah, Berseria.
And Berseria, I mained Eleanor. I love playing her.
Okay.
Played
She had a
Velvet
really
lot
good balance of like physical attacks and then magic.
Yeah. That's why I liked playing Annis a lot in Abyss.
I could never get the hang of Annis.
Loved her. I did because it was the first Tales game I played. Like somehow I didn't recognize that I could change characters. So like when it does the portion where it forces you to play as Ash in like that little cave thing, I was like, "Whoa, casting spells is so much fun!" Wait a minute. Can I play the other ones? And then I realized it, and from then on, I only ever played Annis during any playthrough of that game.
Aww.
Nice, nice.
Was my introduction to Tales casting with a Magic Knight. Ash.
You want me in?
Yeah, like I think that's the thing too. Like for me, Abyss, I definitely did like playing as Annis a bit too. The thing about her is like she's kind of like a tank that could cast spells, so you can play around with that a little bit.
It's fun for me, yeah.
I forgot my.
It's wild. I was like weirdly good at her to the point where like forehand, like there would be battles every once in a while I'd lose and all that. But after I started playing her, I never lost a single fight, and I was like, oh, I'm good at this one.
Nice, nice, nice. It's always a good discovery when you find your character. Like this is the right one for me.
Yeah.
Why am I playing Magilu? Why am I playing Magilu?
I don't know. Haven't you been like really into playing her for this fight this whole time? Do you not know? Wait, what?
I think I'm playing as Magilu because like I need to absorb spells. Because if I'm not absorbing spells, then this could be a very bad time.
Makes sense.
Yeah. What are the words I'm looking for? Sorry, Cherrim, I kind of missed your answer a bit there with Berseria. Which one did you end up playing as most?
Oh, also Eleanor. For
Okay.
same reasons, so.
Good stuff.
We seem to have a very similar playstyle.
Yeah. Like, Eleanor's pretty fun, like, in this game, particularly because, like, her break soul, she, like, lifts them up in the air, and even if they're on the ground, it, like, allows you to sort of, like, continue forward with, like, continuing to lift them up in the air, so, like, there's a bit of, like, flexibility with that, with the game where you don't jump. Let's see here. Yeah, we are starting to wind down to the, end of this part, I want to say. There are some cutscenes that we do have to go through, but before we get to that point, is there anything that you want to, like, additionally, like, advertise or whatnot with regards to Lumina Tales or your own personal projects? The floor is yours. Well,
promotion is scary.
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, I have my Twitter, but I think my Twitter got promoted or will be promoted when the Nariki Dungeon footage plays.
It already happened already. Sorry, that happened yesterday. Yeah. But you feel free to plug advertise it again here.
Sure. My Twitter is at Jenachuu, and it is spelled the same way my name has been written at the bottom of the screen. I make art and I translate. Hey. And I am main translator for Lumina in the Destiny 2 project. So follow Lumina if you would like to, yes.
Lumina Tales, yes.
Also, when is the Rapid panel? Rapid Crossing.
Oh yeah, we're doing that.
That'll be...
A few of us from Lumina Tales are doing a panel about our process and about the group, and we're having a Q&A session at the end for Rapid Crossing, a Tales convention that's going to be online, and I think it's the 19th, let me make sure, of this month.
I think it's the 18th.
18th, maybe. I don't know, I'm so bad at this.
2 p.m. Central.
Okay, 18th at 2 p.m. is us. And then the con is, there's various panels all day, so yes, it is called Rapid Crossing. And they have a Twitter, I think, under that name as well.
Yeah, so Rapid Crossing on September 18th. Jenachuu on Twitter. Yes, Jenachuu was the one who helped out. Yesterday we had a break period, and there was a scene from Naraki Dungeon Cross, which I asked Jenachuu to translate. Once again, very much appreciated that you got that done. So it was nice to spread some Naraki Dungeon Cross love out there from yesterday. Also, Cherrim, how about you? Your Twitter at Cherrim, or is there anything else you like to add as well?
I'm at Cherrim basically everywhere. Most of it will just be Final Fantasy XIV, so I actually recommend following it right now if you want Tales. I'm also the moderator for the subreddit for Tales.
Yes.
So if you want to check that out, I think we're a pretty decent community. And everyone there is really excited for Arise, so we'll definitely have lots of posts there about it. Otherwise, I don't know what else to add. I'm just the main translator for Destiny DC that Lumina is working on. It'll be a ways out, but I'm really excited to be working on it.
All right. Yeah, so, like, I you know what? I'm so sorry. That slipped my mind. You are, like, a mod on the Reddit and Discord. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry about that. That I completely slipped my mind. But but yeah, you could check up the Reddit for Tales subreddit, and also you can see the Discord link there at the subreddit as well if you want to see like a big community of Tales fans all together and sharing their hype for Tales of Arise. Also as well, as they are here right now, the the main guests. They're main guesting for Lumina Tales. Be sure to follow Lumina Tales at Twitter. All one word, if I recall correctly. Yes, and on Twitter, that is. And, of course, same with the URL, luminatales.net, to follow the latest of their projects and whatnot. So I believe I covered everything with regards to that. Pretty sure.
Yeah, we try to put a new post out on the blog every week or every month. So it'll just be a little insight into our projects and how they're coming along.
We try to talk about interesting things.
Yeah, project notes, I hear, yeah. Alright, it's time for Medusa. I wonder what kind of boss she is. I'm pretty sure we all went over that joke. But in any case, let's not be coy. This Medusa here is straight up carried over another enemy boss from Tales of Zestiria. So it has the exact same gimmick, and unfortunately we don't have a Seraph that can block it. Oh yeah, that's the cool thing. The Medusa boss in Tales of Zestiria, the Wind Seraph Dezel, he doesn't get affected by it, like the petrification. So it's cool with any, like with either, with who you armortize with Dezel, they will not get affected by the petrification. And it's a very good story to gameplay element sort of deal.
I had no idea. That's so cool.
I wish I had known that when I played the game the first time, because the petrification really ruined my life in that boss fight.
There's no escape.
I had so much trouble.
Yeah, I hear you. Like, honestly, Zestiria, again, it gets a lot of flack, but when I revisited it again this year, there was, like, a lot of things that, like within the gameplay that's, like, described in this narrative and whatnot. It's so cool. Like, Mook Tales mentioned it here, how, like, the humans not attacking the Seraphs. It's, like, human-type enemies can attack them. It's, like, the little details like that. Zestiria is really good with it.
I appreciate a lot of its details.
Yeah.
I learned about the Dezel thing far too late, and then I was very upset, because fight was the bane of my existence. That was the first time I just got super stuck.
I hear you. Well, I apologize for what you're going to be seeing right after this little Mook encounter here, because we're going to be seeing your favorite boss of all time then, I guess. Here we go. Alright, let's do this. So, these snakes here, they show up whenever Medusa does a thing. I can't remember what the thing was, but you gotta be mindful of that as you're avoiding her and whatnot. She's practically the same boss, I want to say, but there are some bits and tidbits that kind of make it a little bit different.
They didn't. I became one of my own free.
Ah, good question, Eleanor.
But your daughter, slain at an exorcist's hand.
Huh.
Gaspies.
Unexpected answer.
Back, don't you?
Oh, I feel hate. Toward a world where demons spawn from the people's malevolence.
You know about malevolence?
The exorcist told me that.
You know, again, it's more so to, like, appreciate, like, Eleanor's arc and whatnot, especially when it's, like, you relate it to, like, her childhood and what happened to her. And later on that you see it, like, with Kamoana first and now Medusa here. So once, like, you saw, like, hit a soft spot for her in both cases, that pretty much, like, helped complete the turn, I like to say. As Medusa becomes a little bit too extra, I want to say. Like, what's up with that pose? Like, holy smokes. Let's bring on the golems!
We'll take you by force.
Here it is. Here it is. Alright, okay, so let's take out the golems first. That's a big priority here. We're gonna see if we could have Aizen sort of deal with that. If he doesn't, maybe I should play as Aizen, actually. I'll start the battle with Aizen first, and then afterwards I'll hop on over to Magilou, because I think Magilou is going to be way more important after we get to the halfway point in this boss fight. So we're going to get 2 Wind Lances, 2 Air Thrust, and we should be good to go. Alright, let's see if we can take out these golems first. Alright, okay, you can show off Magilou, that's fine. Do it. Go ahead. Go right ahead. Very nice.
I love that.
Get it, girl.
Alright, what would you say is like your favorite mystic art in this game then?
Ooh. I'm not sure I remember them very well in this game.
Yeah, I only played Eleanor, so I don't remember.
Fair.
I think of like any game though. I think Grace's has my favorite art, Mystic Arts, especially the silly ones.
Okay, like which one would you say is the biggest favorite then out of them all? For Grace's.
The Malix that has like this stupid long name, which I learned recently is a reference to Destiny 2. It is so silly. I love it so much. It's just so over the top.
Oh man! Now I'm gonna tell you like Rays. They brought Lonnie and Malik together.
Yes.
And they both did it at the same time. It was the best.
Oh man!
The absolute best. I look into it if you find the time. Yes.
Makes me happy.
All right. How about you, Jenna? For the entire series, I would say.
Probably that one, except the Destiny 2 version.
Okay.
It's just funny. I like it. I also like Anis's Dying Moon because I just think it's a cool name.
Dying Moon? Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. That's like her first Mystic card, right? I think it is.
It's one of them. That's all I remember is that it's one of them, and it has a cool name that I used for like a username before because I thought it was cool back in the day.
I remember those days. I remember seeing like people using art names from Berseria back then too. It's like when I started discovering and exploring Berseria more, I'm like, oh, so that's where you got that name. I thought it was a unique name.
Yeah.
Now my usernames are just my name plus 2 because Pikachu.
That makes sense.
I'm a simple woman.
What's it called? I think like I used to have like my names like some kind of Sega game, like I'm Vector Man, whatever. Nobody ever played Vector Man, but I wanted to give it a shout out anyway. But that's when I started to
means you would get the name everywhere.
Basically. And that's when I got my name afterwards. Just stick with Richard. Add something to it. That's how we get our identity on the internet, after all. Alright. Shooting stars for days.
It was strangers were scary, and now I'm like, hey, do you want to meet in person at this place that's totally maybe not safe?
Yep.
Zero sense of self-preservation when it comes to internet friends for me now.
Yeah, we're also a little bit older too. I definitely wouldn't recommend it for.
But yeah, no.
Right now.
The first internet friend I met, we met in front of a police station because that's what our parents wanted to do, and I mean, I get it now.
Yes. No, that's wise.
Adorable.
Yeah, that's very wise.
Yeah, our parents were smart about it. They
Yes.
talked on the phone, like, on our phones, because we were like, okay, here they are, here's my mommy now.
Yeah. That's very smart of your parents to have done. That was good. That was good foresight.
Yeah, it just makes a funny story now.
Police station, that's great.
Yeah.
I'd like expect that on a sitcom.
Yeah. They were like, if anything happens, we know exactly where to go.
Yeah.
It was when I was 13 when we did that, so that was quite a while ago.
So I just realized Isaac's been taking a nap all this time. Maybe we should probably wake him up. Actually, I just remembered the gimmick to this fight. The gimmick to this fight is that whenever you destroy one of these mooks, Medusa here will insta-cast a high-tier spell. So don't really kill them and keep an eye on Medusa. Because that spell really hurts a lot, if I recall correctly. Either that, or like she does the petrification thing. And yes, we're gonna be constantly spamming shooting stars, because that's pretty much the only thing I like to do with Magiru. Because I mean, she kind of has a cool art here at the end here. Let me actually link to that. Because this art is just way too overpowered for its own good. But I guess we could do the other one right over here, which is pretty cool itself. Oh, but then it got me. Oh no, maybe we're not gonna use it anymore. Yeah, this is Yeah, me and my big mouth. Me and my big mouth. I hear you. I hear you. I know what everybody's thinking. No, there goes Magulu. I targeted the wrong person too for the Panacea bottle. Fantastic! Fantastic work, me. Alright, anyway. Let's see if we can keep pushing over here. Yeah, so like Magulu, I'm only keeping her for like the eventual second phase, which is gonna happen very shortly. She's gonna, Medusa's gonna start casting Crown Fire, which is really rough to avoid, particularly because like it has like a straight line, but then like the area that it covers when it lands is really big. So be mindful of that. That's why I kind of want to make sure that my party members are essentially spread out and whatnot. Because if they're not spread out, that's gonna be really bad. And throw in some shooting stars here and there. We're getting some pretty good stunts, though. Like, Ivan's doing a good job doing that, basically. But I don't want them to take the front lines, because, like, if they're in the front lines, I don't trust my AI in doing too well with this. Oh, jeez. Well, granted, I don't know if I can even trust myself at the moment, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try. Let's see.
You can do it, buddy.
We're gonna try. We're gonna try. What would you say is the hardest Tales of game both of you have played?
Destiny 2.
Yeah, it's either Destiny 2 or Rebirth for me, in the sense that, like, I was so bad at both of them that for a lot of, like, random encounters, or just, like, random enemy fights, I would just set it to auto and let it play for me, because it was better at it than I was.
Oh, no. It is mainly because of the boss fights. The boss fights in Destiny 2 are,
they're rough.
Hellish.
Oh, how'd you guys feel about, like, the final dungeon where you had to play as everybody else?
I'm not good at playing as characters that aren't the one I named the whole time.
Yeah. I'm really bad at, especially if I've been playing a spellcaster the whole game, if it gives me one of those, like, one-on-one fights where I have to play as the main character or something, I literally cannot do it.
Yeah! Oh my god!
Like, I used to have my brother or my roommates or, like, someone else do it for me, and if I have to suck it up and do it, it's so hard.
Yeah, the Luke solo fight near the end of Abyss got me.
Yeah.
Always gets me. I'm always like, wait, I don't even know what arts they have.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, because you played Annis,
like...
right?
Or the worst one for me is Vesperia, you know? The part when you learn, I think if you learn about limit breaks or something, I always mess that up. Like the fight that you do that on, I die, and I never remember to save beforehand, so I always have to like redo half an hour of work, and then I get to the fight, and then I die, and I have to redo the half an hour of work, and then I get to the fight and realize I didn't save and die again.
I've recently had trouble with that fight as well, because I've been playing the Switch version every once in a while.
Wait, Vesperia? Oh, I thought I heard Zestiria. Sorry about that.
No.
Yeah, Vesperia is definitely the wake-up call. That's for sure. Like at the very beginning of the game. Yeah, I hear you. You're not. Yeah, I remember hearing that story again. Like I mentioned this like when I played Vesperia, but like a friend of mine, like she finished Berseria, and then when she moved on to Berseria, no, she finished Berseria, and when she moved on to Vesperia, the tutorial fight like basically got her, and like she couldn't like keep moving forward. It was like that was certainly the game that's not a good game to go to after playing something like Berseria. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially tough early on before you have all your abilities like backstab or like anything like that.
Yeah. Like without all those tools, it is definitely rough. That's for sure. Okay, we're almost done with this boss fight. Just a couple more dancing around. See, I'm not scared of boss fights. I'm scared of mooks that constantly cast spells and don't know when to quit. Shoot. Spell Absorber. I think we should be okay. Spell Absorber again. Thank you. Let's get one more Spell Absorber. Thank you. Thank you for all those spells. Take a Maelstrom in the face. Beautiful. Beautiful end.
Easy.
Easy, easy. Easy, easy. EZ. Actually, let's be a bit more accurate here. The Canadian joke right at the end. Anyway, yeah, wrap this cutscene. We're going to end it off here, and we're going to push on forward to the next part. Once again, I do want to say publicly thank you, Jenachuu, thank you, Cherrim, for taking the time for going through the marathon here, going through Berseria particularly. I know it's been 5 years for both of you, but I'm glad that you're able to keep up with all the memories of this game, especially since you both played in Japanese as well. So,
Yeah.
I hope this was a nice little look back into Tales, and I do wish the best for both of you with regards to Lumina, what you have for the patch.
What happened to my
Thank you.
The patch is,
you.
my apologies.
I've had a lot of fun. I want to replay a lot of old games now, but thankfully
Yeah,
I
I'm like
can
itching
really
for it.
scratch it.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm happy to hear that. Well, we also have a Rise coming up, so I think we all know what we're going to be playing along the way later on for sure. Yeah.
This.
A little girl that the Abbey forcefully made into a Therion.
Kamoana. What are you talking about, little
Her mother
child?
tried to save her, but she failed. All she could do was to offer her own life
Sound
to fill
familiar?
her child's empty stomach.
It maybe felt like a little bit too coincidental for this to happen, but I guess in terms of moving the plot along, I suppose it was our platform to keep pushing forward.
I can only imagine how sad that would make your
Now that I'm looking at it, it does really feel like the exact same story we just saw in like the last Therion. It's a little bit too close to, too similar to what we just saw, but the roles are reversed.
No, honey, I did it for you.
Wow.
I stopped loving you.
I think that was part of the conflict that Medusa was going through too.
Made you into a
That's
Yeah.
what all the townsfolk were talking about along the way.
It's all my fault.
So sad.
I'm so sorry. Forgive me, Diana.
Medusa.
She'll be all right. She's just unconscious.
No, she said
Let's grab her and
Diana.
call her back.
I'll place her under a lockdown,
Anywho,
just in case.
I think this might be it. We're gonna bring her back, and we finally found our Therion after 2 misses. We finally got our hit. It took us 3 tries, but I think we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it next time after this, that's for sure. We're on a roll, everybody. We're on a roll, and I think that's like maybe 4 more Therions to go. No, 3 more Therions, because we got Velvet, we got Griffin, we got the Bug, Kamoana, and Medusa. So that's 2 more to go. So. I think we'll be looking into that in the next session. I'm not looking forward to it in terms of the boss fight, but I guess we'll see what happens. And yeah, let's just see how long we're going to talk about what we're going to do with Hellebreeze and Medusa. Oh yeah, that's true. Like, if we take out the Therions, then Malevolent's going to go wild. So, curious to see what's going to happen here.
Rosquetios.
Malevolence is the fault of the individual. You assume no responsibility or guilt for what happens to them.
I refuse to turn a blind eye to the consequences of my actions. I chose this path to seek the truth, not to deny it. If I'm to betray reason, then that is the...
There's Eleanor's shine right there. Let's go. She realizes the Abbey.
Too much, you know that?
She realizes her own role to seek out the truth. That's right.
It's our
Why
daughter.
Eleanor's a fave.
Quit overthinking things.
So good.
Just blame all the suffering on the Lord of Calamity. Makes life easier.
Velvet,
Yeah, and this is where, like, the whole thing that I was talking about before is like, oh, the sort of dynamic between Velvet and Eleanor is kind of short-lived when they're sort of, like, suspicious of each other and all that, or tension or whatever, but yeah, after like, Velvet realizes that, Eleanor is, like, the vessel for Laphicet, she eases up on it. Like, kind of wish there was more of that, but unfortunately we don't get it too much at the end of the day because of what Velvet learns. Mobius Loop, level 3 random skills, perfect, and I think, is there anything else that I'm missing here? I guess little shiny things to pick up. And where was I going to make my save? I think it was over here. Yeah, we're going to go back over here to make our save. Yeah, let's keep on running Velvet. This is where I wish I had the Marathon Ventite times 7. But anyway, here we are. Let's do our quick save, and we'll see you in 30 minutes for the final part of day 8. See you guys then.